The story begins with a young woman dreaming of her own farm and the shining golden waves of rice stretching endlessly beneath the sunlight. This is her dream, the life of a successful farmer. However, when she finally opens her eyes, she realizes that it is nothing more than a dream. Returning to reality, she finds herself disappointed, thinking about what a pity it is that such a happy dream has come to an end. Her name is Erica. She is a noble lady who possesses the memories of her previous life and is destined to become the villainess of the future. In her previous life, she had been completely obsessed with farming. Thanks to her parents, who were both farmers, she learned how to cultivate crops from an early age. Dreaming of becoming a farmer herself, she eventually dropped out of school and devoted all her time to agricultural work. After gaining extensive farming experience, she successfully expanded their rice business into a globally recognized brand within only 5 years, earning both admiration and envy from countless people. She had reached what many would consider the pinnacle of success as a farmer. Then everything changed. She was involved in an accident, and her life came to an abrupt end. One day, while living as an ordinary noble lady, all of those memories suddenly returned to her. The realization arrives completely out of nowhere, leaving her utterly shocked. She cannot believe what she remembers. The world she has been living in is actually the setting of a novel she had read before dying in her previous life. In other words, she has been reincarnated as one of the characters from that novel. She is Erica, the daughter of a count. The plot of the novel is fairly simple. It follows Pandora, the female protagonist who possesses a mysterious divine power, and several male leads who are hopelessly in love with her. In short, it is a classic fantasy reverse harem romance story. Within the original story, there is a villainess who constantly harasses Pandora. That villainess is Erica. Known as the Jewel of Drietta, Erica grows up excessively pampered and spoiled. Her upbringing turns her into a rude and ill-mannered young woman who gradually begins bullying Pandora and many others around her. As the years pass, her cruel actions become increasingly severe. Eventually, even her own family can no longer support her and turn their backs on her. Abandoned by everyone and left completely alone, Erica ultimately meets a tragic end and is executed midway through the story. The realization leaves her stunned. Out of all the characters she could have become, why does she have to be the villainess who is destined to die? As her mother notices her unusual behavior and asks what is troubling her, Erica begins reflecting on the memories of the novel. Thinking back carefully, she remembers that throughout the entire story, her parents are the only people who continue trying to save her until the very end. They are also the people who have always loved her unconditionally. Feeling a deep sense of gratitude, she acknowledges how terrible a daughter she has been and sincerely appreciates all the concern and affection they have shown her. She resolves to become a better daughter from now on. Her sudden change in attitude only confuses her parents further. They become worried and begin wondering whether she has fallen ill. This all happens only a few days earlier. After spending considerable time thinking about how to avoid her destined death, Erica eventually arrives at a conclusion. The current Erica has not yet committed any of the terrible acts described in the novel. That means she still has a chance. If she completely changes her behavior and turns over a new leaf, she may be able to escape her tragic fate. Furthermore, the story has not yet reached the point where Pandora and the male leads meet each other. As long as she refrains from bullying Pandora as she does in the original novel, there should be no reason for her execution. Most importantly, she decides that she must never become involved with any of the male leads. None of them seem entirely sane in her opinion, and she cannot understand why they are considered so attractive and popular. Her gaze then drifts toward the garden outside the window. There is a dream she wishes to fulfill in this world. She wants to become a successful farmer once again, just as she was in her previous life. More than that, she wants to become a legendary farmer. Her goal in this life is simple: to live happily and peacefully until she eventually dies of old age. In order to achieve that dream, there is someone she believes she must meet first. After all, he is the second male lead, the person who is already connected to her by fate. The scene then shifts to a carriage. Erica is informed that they have arrived at their destination. Stepping out of the carriage, she immediately recognizes the towering structure before her. It is the Magic Tower. The Magic Tower serves as a research institution under the direct authority of the imperial family. It is a place where only selected individuals are permitted to enter. Ordinary people are strictly forbidden from setting foot inside its walls. However, the crest of the ducal house acts as a free pass, granting access to places that most people could never dream of entering. Even so, Erica cannot help questioning whether coming here without any concrete plan was truly a good idea. She wonders if he will actually come to meet her. Suddenly, a voice calls out to her. Startled, she flinches and instinctively turns toward the source of the voice. For a moment, she thinks that he has finally appeared. The young man immediately asks what she is doing there. His name is Royal. This man is her only brother. More importantly, he is one of the male leads of the romance novel. Royal Woyo was originally adopted into the family. Before Erika's birth, the ducal couple struggled for many years to have a child of their own. However, shortly after they took Royal in, the Duchess unexpectedly became pregnant with Erika. As a result, Royal gradually became second to his younger sister. In the original story, Erika shamelessly takes advantage of this situation. Although she already receives all the love and affection in the household, she continues to torment Royal. She manipulates her parents and drives a wedge between them and their adopted son. Eventually, she succeeds in having him thrown out of the magic tower. From that point onward, Royal develops an intense hatred toward her. His resentment becomes so great that he often feels the urge to burn Erika alive. There is even a line in the novel that states that, while watching Erika's execution, Royal smiles from the bottom of his heart for the first time since becoming part of the family. Having a family was the only thing he had ever wished for. That is why he can never forgive Erika. Returning to the present, Royal asks what could possibly have brought her here. Considering everything she did to him in the original story, Erika knows she should expect this level of hostility. Nevertheless, facing him in person is far more intimidating than she anticipated. She cannot help feeling nervous. Gathering her courage, she quickly explains that she came because they are family. At the same time, she repeatedly reminds herself not to be afraid. After all, he is still only a child. More importantly, if she wants to survive, she needs him on her side. Her words only make Royal scoff. He questions the meaning of family. The response surprises him, and he remarks that he never expected such a word to come out of Erika's mouth. Meanwhile, Erika begins panicking internally. She wonders what she should do. Royal is far more hostile than she initially imagined. If their relationship continues like this, she may end up being killed by him long before anyone else gets the chance. Determined not to give up, she calls out to him once more and says that there is something she wants to tell him. This is the first step of her plan. Without hesitation, she drops to her knees. She begins begging for forgiveness. Admitting that everything was her fault, she abandons every trace of pride she possesses. This is not the time to protect her dignity. If throwing away her pride can save her life, she is willing to do it hundreds of times over. She continues apologizing sincerely. She admits that the things she has done cannot be forgiven easily. Even so, she promises that she will do everything she can to make up for her actions. She vows to become a completely different person. Most importantly, she pleads with him to spare her life. Royal immediately tells her to stop. He coldly reminds her that he is not even her real brother. Then he begins casting magic. As magical energy gathers around him, Erika cannot help staring in amazement. Even after realizing she is living inside a novel, witnessing actual magic still feels unbelievable. Royal dismisses everything she has said. Whatever excuses she might have and whatever thoughts may be running through her mind, he has no desire to hear any of them. Nothing will change. At least, that is what he believes. With those final words, he slams the door shut and leaves her standing there alone. Eventually, Erika returns home. As she reflects on what happened, she realizes that she cannot even blame him. After all, the original Erika spent years bullying him. Considering everything he endured, an apology is the very least she owes him. Still, she chooses not to lose hope. According to the novel, Royal only begins genuinely wanting to kill Erika after she starts targeting Pandora, the female lead, as the victim of her bullying. As long as she behaves herself and never repeats the actions of the original story, there should not be any major problems. For now, she decides that the issue with Royal can wait. Then another question enters her mind. What should she do next? As she thinks about it, a familiar image appears in her thoughts: her farm. The moment the idea comes to her, she immediately jumps to her feet. What else would she possibly do? Of course she is going to farm. Compared to her previous life, where she had to struggle from the very bottom and work tirelessly for every opportunity, her current circumstances are incredibly fortunate. This time, she already possesses nearly everything she needs. After all, she is the daughter of a ducal family. She has been born into a cradle of gold. With wealth, influence, land, and resources already at her disposal, there is no reason she cannot pursue her dream. Thus, Erika's privileged farming life finally begins. Erika gazes out of the window and, as she does, a realization comes to her. The area surrounding the magic tower is covered by vast stretches of unused flat land. The natural conditions are favorable, the soil appears fertile, and the open fields seem perfectly suited for growing crops. To her, it is an unbelievable waste that such promising land has remained abandoned for so long. The sight of the endless fields immediately awakens memories from her previous life, where rice farming had been her greatest passion. Watching rice plants grow taller day after day had always filled her with a deep sense of fulfillment. Even now, it pains her to remember how all of her life's work disappeared in a single instant. Yet this world offers her another chance. She realizes that she can begin again from the very start. As long as she refuses to give up, nature will always wait for her. With renewed determination, she decides that she will try once more. This time, she intends to make a success of rice farming in this world as well. While walking downstairs, her eyes suddenly fall upon a sword resting nearby, and she wonders if it might be useful for her plans. The scene then shifts as someone calls out to her. The person approaching is Felix, the gardener of the house. He politely asks what she is doing, only to find her plowing a field. The sight leaves him visibly startled, and he questions why she is doing such work. Erica racks her brain for a suitable explanation, but fails to find one. An idea quickly flashes through her mind, and she casually claims that farming is merely a hobby of hers. She reasons that people often take up hobbies these days, so this is simply her own preferred pastime. Felix appears bewildered by the notion that a young noble lady would choose farming as a hobby. Erica then asks whether he can obtain some seeds and seedlings for her, promising to provide him with a detailed list later. Felix admits that acquiring them would not be difficult, but he worries about her health. Having heard that she had recently been ill, he fears that such demanding work may cause her condition to worsen. Erica confidently assures him that she possesses a healthy constitution and that there is no need for concern. However, Felix remarks that this fact only makes him more worried, considering she had still ended up bedridden for several days, despite her robust health. He points out that everyone in the house knows how serious her illness had been. Erica attempts to dismiss the matter by suggesting that her parents probably exaggerated the situation. In her opinion, nobody in the household is truly weak. Felix immediately disagrees, insisting that she is the sole exception. According to him, she is as dainty and delicate as a flower and far too frail for farm work. Listening to him, Erica begins to think that Felix seems like a genuinely kind person. She even considers recruiting him as her farming partner. In fact, his strong build appears perfectly suited for planting rice. She thanks him for worrying about her and promises that she will not remain in the field for too long. Felix becomes somewhat emotional and admits that she seems to have changed lately. Erica briefly wonders if that is really the case. She then thanks him for all of his hard work, praising how beautifully he maintains the garden. The compliment causes him to blush, and he modestly insists that he is only doing the job expected of him. Nevertheless, Erica points out that caring for plants through snow and harsh weather is far from easy. She asks him to lower his head for a moment before placing a cap upon it. The gesture leaves him completely stunned. Erica assures him that he may keep the cap and explains that it is a gift in exchange for helping her with farming whenever he has spare time. Felix readily agrees, which fills her with satisfaction. Her plan to secure a farming companion has succeeded perfectly. However, Felix suddenly notices something and immediately questions the object in her hands. To his astonishment, the tool she is using appears to be the heirloom of House Roll, the Holy Sword Garcian. Erica is confused by his reaction. As far as she remembers from the novel, Garcian is a legendary holy sword, as well as the treasured heirloom of the noble Roll family. The sword possesses a hidden ability that allows it to choose its own master because it carries a will of its own. Whenever its chosen wielder uses it for a noble purpose, it grants them extraordinary magical powers. Erica can hardly believe what she is hearing. The supposedly ordinary tool she has been using as a hoe is actually a priceless legendary artifact. She insists that such a thing sounds ridiculous. After all, she merely found a useful-looking object displayed on a stand and brought it along. Who would leave a precious family heirloom in such an accessible place? Felix explains that displaying the sword publicly had been the Duke's own idea. Since it symbolizes the family and serves as its heirloom, he believed it should remain somewhere everyone could see it. Erica realizes that this explanation makes perfect sense for the royal family. Their straightforward way of thinking is one of their defining characteristics. The idea of hiding such an important treasure in a secure location likely never crossed their minds. Felix suggests that she should return the sword to its original place immediately. Erica reluctantly agrees but remarks that it works remarkably well for plowing fields. Besides, it does not resemble a holy sword in the slightest. Felix warns her that if His Grace discovers how she has been using it, he will undoubtedly become furious. Erica understands his concern and decides that she will return it later that day. though she cannot help feeling disappointed because it performs much better than ordinary farming tools. Felix eventually accepts her decision and returns to his duties. Secretly, however, he thinks that it would probably be harmless if she occasionally used it again when nobody was watching. Neither of them has the slightest idea that this seemingly insignificant incident with the Holy Sword will eventually twist Erika's life in ways she could never have imagined. The following day, Felix delivers all the seeds and seedlings that Erika had requested. As she thanks him for his efforts, he modestly assures her that there is no need for gratitude, explaining that he has merely carried out his duties. Nevertheless, seeing her so delighted brings him genuine satisfaction. While carefully examining the items he has brought, Erika suddenly notices something missing and turns to ask about the rice seedlings. Felix admits that he had actually intended to ask her about them. He explains that he has no idea what a rice seedling is. The response leaves Erika completely baffled. Could it be that he truly does not know what rice is? Felix apologizes and explains that farming expertise is not his specialty. He had asked numerous people about rice seedlings, yet none of them had ever heard of such a thing. The revelation shocks Erika. How could nobody know about rice? For a moment, she wonders if rice has simply never been discovered in this world. Realizing the matter may be more complicated than she initially thought, she asks Felix to keep the entire subject a secret, especially from her parents. Since they had dismissed all of her tutors after she requested some time to rest, she cannot allow them to discover that she has secretly devoted herself to farming. Felix readily agrees and assures her that she can trust him completely. Strangely, however, his reassurance only makes her feel slightly uneasy rather than comforted. Later, while eating a meal, Erika continues pondering the mystery. Since her parents are currently away at the Imperial Palace, she decides this is the perfect opportunity to investigate further. Calling for the household chef, Kyle, she asks him a simple question. As a cook, surely he has heard of rice. Upon hearing the word, Kyle immediately reacts with surprise. Erika quickly clarifies her question and asks whether he truly knows what rice is. The chef pauses to think, causing her anxiety to grow. Looking back, she realizes that she has never once eaten a rice-based dish since arriving in this world. Just when she begins to lose hope, Kyle suddenly recalls something. He explains that he once encountered rice in an old book. This revelation instantly captures Erika's attention. Curious, she wonders what sort of book could contain such information. Kyle explains that according to ancient records, rice was a crop cultivated long ago by a legendary sage. However, it eventually became extinct. Rather than feeling enlightened, Erika is left utterly stunned. She cannot help wondering whether Kyle sees rice as some kind of ancient fossil. Seeking clarification, she learns that, according to popular belief, rice disappeared from the world a very long time ago. Kyle adds that the story may be nothing more than a legend, since nobody alive has ever seen rice with their own eyes. Most people are simply grateful that wheat still exists. The information strikes Erika hard. Ever since regaining memories of her previous life, building a future through rice farming has been her greatest dream and source of hope. Refusing to surrender, she asks whether the book contains any additional details. Kyle remembers another peculiar legend stating that magical beasts loved rice so much that they carried every remaining grain to the distant eggplant mountains. Although he personally believes it is only a myth, the story gives Erika something far more valuable than certainty. It gives her hope. If rice once existed, then it may still exist somewhere. Considering the climate, humidity, and soil conditions of this world, everything seems perfectly suited for cultivating rice. There must be a way to find it. No matter how difficult the challenge becomes, she refuses to abandon her dream of making a success of herself through rice farming. Sometime later, Erika proudly inspects the seed beds she has prepared. Looking over her work, she imagines the future growth of the plants. Soon the seeds will sprout, the young shoots will mature, flowers will bloom, and eventually the crops will bear fruit. The thought fills her with excitement. Her peaceful moment is interrupted when Amir arrives with unexpected news. He informs her that his grace and her grace have returned home. Erika is immediately startled. She should have been waiting outside to welcome them back. Hastily setting aside her work, she rushes to greet her parents. Although she initially found it awkward to act affectionately toward them after recovering memories of her past life, she has gradually become accustomed to their warmth and affection. Upon seeing her, her parents ask whether anything unusual happened during their absence. Erika truthfully replies that nothing significant occurred, aside from visiting Roel at the Magic Tower. She wisely decides not to mention her secret farming activities. Her mother appears surprised by the visit, recalling that Roel had always seemed intent on bothering her in the past. The comment causes Erika to reflect on the previous Erika's behavior, and wonder why she had treated him that way. This time, however, she calmly explains that Roel had done nothing wrong and that the fault had always been hers. Her parents are naturally confused and ask what she means. Having come to understand Roe's circumstances better than anyone, Erica has already resolved to reveal the entire truth. She now realizes how deeply the absence of his family must have affected him, and how lonely he must have felt. More than anything, she wishes to return the love and care that he deserves. Deep within her heart, she can only hope that it is not already too late. After returning home, Erica explains to her parents everything that truly happened before Roel was sent to the Magic Tower. She confesses that she had framed him out of jealousy, even though he had sincerely wished to get along with her from the very beginning. Upon hearing her admission, her parents are overwhelmed with shame. The Duchess believes that because Erica voluntarily acknowledges her wrongdoing, she has genuinely repented. At the same time, both she and the Duke realize that they are equally responsible for failing to give Roel the attention and care he deserved. Feeling that enough time has been lost already, the Duchess decides that it is finally time for the entire family to gather and share a meal together. The scene then shifts to the dinner table. As Erica eats, she feels as though she is walking on thin ice. The silence is so heavy that she desperately wishes for someone, anyone, to say something. Eventually, the Duke breaks the tension by asking Roel about the food. Roel calmly replies that it tastes good. Erica cannot help but admire how quickly her father acts once he learns the truth. Immediately after hearing her confession, he had invited Roel to join them for dinner that very evening. It is the first time in a long while that Roel sits at the family table with them. The Duke and Duchess acknowledge that they have misunderstood him all this time and regret their poor judgment. Erica quickly stands and tries to take full responsibility, insisting that everything was her fault, but her father tells her to sit down. The Duchess then offers her own apology. She reflects on Roel's difficult childhood in the slums and realizes that when she and her husband first appeared before him, he must have experienced warmth and acceptance for the first time in his life. Because of that, she believes he could never truly hate them, even after being cast away to the Magic Tower. Roel humbly responds that everything happened because he lacked ability in many areas. The Duchess then gently suggests that he return home and live with them again. However, Roel explains that the Magic Tower is where he has always wanted to be. There are many things he wishes to learn there, so he cannot leave, though he sincerely appreciates the offer. Remembering his long-held dream, the Duchess acknowledges that Roel has always desired a life devoted to magic and asks about the process of becoming an archmage. Roel explains that once he can freely use the highest level of magic, he will be sent to a subspace and given a test. He is confident that he will pass. Erica knows that this is exactly how the original story unfolds. If Roel were to return home now, the entire future would be altered. Becoming an archmage requires enduring a rigorous journey. Magicians spend years studying advanced magic within a subspace before moving to another one, where their newly acquired abilities are thoroughly tested. In the original story, Roel only reappears years later, because achieving his dream takes an enormous amount of time and dedication. Nevertheless, becoming an archmage has always been his greatest aspiration. He wishes to elevate the family's reputation through his accomplishments, because he believes it is the only way he can repay the kindness they showed him. Understanding this, the Duke accepts Roel's decision. Although he is uncertain whether his words carry much meaning after all the mistakes he has made, he expresses his hope that Roel will still join them for meals from time to time, and reminds him that he is a member of the family as well. The heartfelt sentiment leaves Roel visibly flustered, but he eventually agrees. As the atmosphere softens, Erica can tell that everyone at the table is deeply moved. The Duke then asks about Roel's magical studies. Roel modestly replies that he is working hard but still has a long way to go. Erica nearly chokes on that statement. According to the original story, even the Crown Prince, the greatest swordsman the Empire has ever known, once acknowledged that Roel is the only person capable of defeating him. Hearing Roel describe himself as someone who still has a long way to go feels almost unbelievable. Wanting her parents to recognize his achievements, Erica quickly points out that Roel already possesses remarkable mastery over high-level magic. Her revelation completely shocks both the Duke and the Duchess. They find it difficult to believe that someone so young can wield magic that even veteran magicians struggle to control without making mistakes. Roel immediately becomes embarrassed and modestly explains that he is still learning and only knows how to use a few spells. However, the Duke insists that mastering even a handful of high-level spells is an extraordinary accomplishment and praises him as a truly gifted magician. Watching Roel grow increasingly shy under the compliments, Erica feels satisfied. Her plan to direct everyone's praise toward him has worked perfectly. After all, despite his incredible talent, he is still just a child. Suddenly, she notices Roll staring at her. The sight instantly makes her nervous. After everything she did to him in the past, she worries that she may have accidentally offended him again. Yet when their eyes meet, she is relieved to see that his expression has softened considerably. Seeing him gradually open up fills her with relief, and she silently reminds herself to be careful not to end up on his bad side ever again. Eventually, the time comes for Roll to return to the Magic Tower. The Duke and Duchess personally see him off and wish him a safe journey back. Before he leaves, the Duke warns him to remain cautious because the route to the Magic Tower passes near the Eggplant Mountain. Reports have recently indicated a significant increase in the number of magic beasts appearing in that region. Hearing this, Erica immediately becomes curious and asks about the situation. The Duke explains that the problem has grown serious enough to attract the Emperor's attention. During his visit to the Imperial Palace the previous day, he learned that the Eggplant Mountains are believed to be the source of the disturbance. The sudden rise in magic beast attacks has worried His Majesty greatly, forcing even the strongest forces of the Empire to focus their attention on the matter. Despite the danger, Roel calmly assures everyone that he will be careful during his travels. As Erica watches the exchange, she cannot help but feel concerned. If both of her parents, who are regarded as two of the strongest fighters of their generation, have become involved in the situation, then the threat must be far more serious than she initially imagined. In this world, there exists a species known as magic beasts, mysterious and monstrous creatures, blessed with extraordinary strength and agility. Their greatest danger lies in the fact that they prey upon humans. Since their attacks show no signs of decreasing, the Emperor stationed the House of the Sword, the Imperial family's strongest military force, near the border region surrounding the magic beast habitat, and ordered them to suppress the creatures. Although magic beasts are often a troublesome nuisance, they also serve an unexpected purpose. The Rice Empire is protected by the Eggplant Mountains, where countless magic beasts reside. As a result, even the more powerful Corn Empire has never been able to successfully invade, because the dangerous creatures create a natural barrier between the two nations. As the conversation continues, the Duke mentions a rumor regarding the dragons that inhabit the Eggplant Mountains. According to old stories, these dragons possess a peculiar habit of collecting grains. Some legends even claim that they preserve ancient crops that have long since gone extinct. The moment Erica hears those words, her heart begins racing with excitement. If the dragons truly collect ancient grains, then perhaps they know something about rice. The possibility is enough to convince her that she needs to investigate the matter personally. Later that night, when darkness finally covers the estate, Erica carefully looks around to ensure that nobody is watching. Seeing that the area is clear, she quietly slips away. Unfortunately, the moment she jumps down, she immediately stumbles and nearly falls. No matter how hard she tries, she still cannot fully adjust to her new body. Before leaving, she had spent time assessing her physical abilities, testing her strength, jumping capability, endurance, and overall resilience. The results are exactly what she expected. The bloodline of her family is far from ordinary. Most members possess physical abilities comparable to monsters, and fortunately, Erica inherited that same lineage. Although her ankle aches slightly from the awkward landing, she refuses to let the pain stop her. She has no intention of abandoning rice cultivation so easily. Carrying the holy sword with her, she decides not to waste another moment. As she ventures deeper into the forest, she realizes that the area is much larger than she anticipated. Beyond the trees rises the towering mountain she seeks. Fortunately, she already learned the location of a dragon hideout while questioning the butlers earlier. As she makes her way toward it, she wonders whether setting up an ambush would be a good idea. She certainly has not come this far without preparation. In her previous life, she maintained excellent agility through years of physical training. There was hardly a sport she had not attempted, from kendo and taekwondo to various martial arts and even boxing. Alongside those skills, she had also devoted herself to learning every farming technique she could find. Although she is still somewhat uncomfortable controlling the monstrous strength of her current body, she believes her previous experience will compensate for that weakness. While exploring the mountain, Erica suddenly notices a strange, rabbit-like creature standing ahead of her. The moment she sees it, she wonders whether it might somehow be connected to the dragon's hideout. As if sensing her presence, the rabbit suddenly darts away. Believing that it may lead her to its den, she quickly follows it. Before long, she discovers a hidden cave and cautiously steps inside. To her amazement, The cave contains a massive collection of grains stacked in enormous piles. The sight leaves her completely speechless. Countless seeds are stored there, yet not a single grain of rice can be found among them. Just as disappointment begins to set in, she hears movement behind her. Turning around, she finds the rabbit glaring at her with obvious hostility. The creature looks far angrier than before. Then, without warning, its body begins to expand. Within moments, the harmless-looking rabbit transforms into a gigantic beast. During the transformation, Erica notices something hanging from its necklace. Attached to it are several unusually large rice grains. The discovery instantly makes everything clear. This creature is no ordinary rabbit. It is the monster guarding the rice seeds she has been searching for. Unfortunately, retrieving them is not going to be easy. Nevertheless, Erica has already come too far to turn back now. No matter how dangerous the opponent before her may be, she is absolutely determined to obtain those precious rice seeds. Tightening her grip on the holy sword, she prepares herself and charges forward, beginning her battle against the giant rabbit monster. Erica is trying to fight the rabbit head-on, but as expected, it is not going to be easy. The creature shows no signs of giving in, and her ankle begins to hurt as well. She realizes she can barely move because of the pain, and thinks she must have injured it when she jumped down and landed abruptly. The rabbit suddenly extends its sharp nails, making her believe there is no way she can avoid the incoming blow. However, at that very moment, a shield appears in front of her. It is Roll, and he uses his explosive abilities to intervene. Erica calls out to him, and he immediately turns toward her. He explains that he only came by on the off chance, and internally questions what she could possibly have been thinking by putting herself in such danger. Before either of them can react further, the rabbit rises onto its feet and launches itself at Roel. The clash leaves both of them unconscious. After some time, Erica finally opens her eyes. Panic immediately fills her as she tries to call out for Roel. Although her voice is weak and feeble, she notices that he is still breathing. She wonders if he has merely passed out. Suddenly, the rabbit returns once again, making her realize she has been far too careless. Faced with the danger before her, Erica desperately begs Garcia and the sword to grant her the power to protect Roel. In response, the sword begins to shine brightly. When she opens her eyes, a voice reaches her, calling her a foolish ascender and expressing outrage at being treated so disrespectfully. The voice is especially offended that she has mistaken it for a hoe. Confused, Erica wonders what this supposed hoe is. The voice continues its furious protests, declaring that it is not a hoe at all but Garst, the holy sword. Erica studies the weapon and thinks that it certainly does not look like an ordinary hoe. To her surprise, it fits perfectly in her hands, a realization that only makes Garst even angrier. He fumes internally, wondering if this ridiculous misunderstanding is truly the legendary supreme humiliation he has only heard about. Meanwhile, Erica is fascinated by the weapon and finds the entire situation incredible. Despite Garst's repeated insistence that he is a holy sword, Erica admits that she never wanted one and never imagined she would end up holding such an excellent hoe. As a result, Garst feels as though his pride has already suffered severe and irreparable damage. Then Erica suddenly remembers the rabbit. Without hesitation, she leaps into action once more. At that moment, she recalls the lessons her mother taught her in her previous life. Her mother had always told her to listen carefully, not merely observe. She remembers being instructed to close her eyes and imagine it clearly. In her mind, the words before her now become weeds, stubborn weeds that need to be removed. She imagines their deep roots buried beneath the ground. The first chapter of the farmer marshal technique is weed clipping. Drawing upon that image, Erica swings the weapon and strikes the unfortunate rabbit. The attack lands with tremendous force. Afterward, she quickly looks around, wondering whether it worked. To her delight, she notices that the rabbit has been completely knocked out. Excitement rushes through her as she realizes that she has successfully defeated it. Suddenly, Erica starts to cough up blood, causing immediate alarm. She stares at the blood in surprise and wonders where it is coming from. The sight makes her question whether she has suffered an internal injury. Soon afterward, she notices that her hand begins to tremble as well. She does not fully understand what is happening, but she suspects that the holy sword has lent her its power. Then she suddenly remembers the rice seeds. Thinking back to everything that happened, she quickly begins searching for them. Excitement fills her when she finally spots them. As she retrieves the rice seeds, happiness overwhelms her. She had been right all along. She thought she would never find rice in this world, but she has succeeded. However, there is another problem. The rice appears to be sealed by some kind of magic, making her wonder how she can possibly break it. Beside the seeds lies the magical beast that had been carrying the rice inside a sealed box. Her thoughts become increasingly muddled, her head spins, and she feels extremely dizzy. She is certain that she is about to lose consciousness. At that exact moment, Roel calls out to her. Relief immediately washes over her as she realizes that he is safe. She wants to walk toward him, but she has no strength left in her body. Just as she begins to collapse, Roel rushes forward and catches her. Erica tells him how glad she is that he was not seriously hurt, a statement that leaves him shocked. She is especially relieved that his face remains unharmed. In her mind, it would have been terrible if such a handsome face had been injured. The thought that she successfully protected him fills her with satisfaction. The scene shifts, and Erica hears the voices of her mother and father crying while repeatedly calling her name. The noise irritates her, and she thinks about how loud everything is. Finally, she wakes up and immediately complains that everyone should stop calling her name because she is not dead. Her words instantly fill the room with joy. Her parents are overjoyed to see her awake. Felix, the chef, and even the servants are equally relieved. Everyone is glad that she has finally regained consciousness. Her father immediately asks how she is feeling. Erica replies that she feels fine, though she cannot help wondering why everyone is gathered inside her room. They explain that they have all been worried sick about her condition. Felix admits that they were afraid she might never wake up. Hearing this makes Erica reflect on her situation. As the only precious daughter of the household, she has spent her entire life surrounded by indulgent parents and devoted servants who constantly spoil her. Considering that environment, it is hardly surprising that the original Erica grew up to become such a spoiled villainess. Even so, when she hears everyone frantically discussing how they would descend 3,000 feet into the deep sea to find a miraculous elixir plant for her, and when another servant begs his grace to allow them to retrieve a centaur's horn to use as medicine for her recovery, Erica finds it difficult to endure. Their overwhelming concern embarrasses her. Unable to bear it any longer, she loudly declares that enough is enough. She insists that she is completely fine and begs everyone to stop making such a fuss over her. At that point, her mother politely asks everyone to leave, explaining that she has something she wishes to discuss privately with her daughter. The Duke immediately argues that he is Erica's father, and therefore should be allowed to remain. However, his protest accomplishes nothing, and he is promptly forced out as well. Once the room finally becomes quiet, her mother turns toward her and coldly demands an explanation. Erica immediately feels nervous. In her eyes, her mother is radiating a tremendously menacing aura. She has heard stories about how her mother once swept through the entire imperial palace when she was younger, and she knows those stories are no joke. Her mother begins questioning her directly, asking why she was alone in the Eggplant Mountains without an escort at such a dangerous hour, and demanding to know how she ended up there. Erica starts sweating profusely. Her mother's smile only makes the situation more terrifying. Trying to justify herself, she explains that she could not simply sit around after hearing that the number of magical beasts had increased. Her mother immediately asks what that has to do with her. Erica responds that she is a member of this family too. She wanted to fight magical beasts, just like her mother and father. Internally, she thinks the excuse sounds surprisingly believable, even to herself. After a long moment, her mother finally sighs and says that she understands. She decides to let the matter pass this one time, but firmly warns Erica never to do something so reckless again. Then she lightly strikes her, explaining that this is all she has to say. Her heart had nearly broken from worry because of Erica's actions. She reminds her daughter that her reckless behavior resulted in both her own injuries and Roel's injuries as well. Hearing that immediately alarms Erica. She asks whether Roel is hurt, and quickly follows up by asking where he is right now. Roel sits quietly while looking out of the window, and as he does so, he remembers everything that happened the previous night. The doctor tells him that he saved his sister from a magic beast, and everyone present expresses how proud they are of him. They point out that he not only protected her, but had even noticed the danger she would face beforehand. Roel tells his parents that he hopes he did not cause them too much worry. The Duke responds that both of them returned in one piece, so everything is all right. He remarks that they should have expected something like this could happen, and even comments that Roel is better than they were at his age. The Duchess then tells Roel that she never imagined the words of caution she had given him would encourage him to do something so reckless. She recalls how shocked they were when they received news of the injuries. The Duke adds that Roel went through a great deal of trouble for the sake of his sister. However, Roel insists that it was nothing, and thinks that if he had been more skilled, things would not have become so difficult. The Duchess immediately tells him to raise his head, because he truly did a wonderful job. and should not blame himself. She explains that incidents like these are not uncommon for their family. She points out that they themselves are people who always face danger head-on, and she states that Roel is certainly one of them as well. The scene then shifts to the Duchess speaking with Erica. She informs her daughter that Roel is currently resting at the Magic Tower, and that he only suffered a few minor scratches, so there is no need to worry excessively. Upon hearing this, Erica immediately rises to her feet, determined to go and check on him herself. Before she can leave, however, her mother calls out to her and questions her actions. The Duchess explains that although their family possesses physical abilities far superior to those of most people, many members of their bloodline have died young. When Erica asks why that is the case, her mother explains that it is due to their excessively impulsive and fearless nature. They constantly throw themselves into danger, despite fully understanding the risks involved. Instead of retreating from peril, they charge toward it. According to her, that simplicity and bravery are precisely what shorten their lives. Because of this, she wishes for Erica to be different from the rest of them. Whenever she needs to run away, she should run. If acting cowardly is what allows her to survive, then she should not hesitate to do so. She reminds Erica that she is still only a child and can rely on her mother. Those words deeply touch Erica. However, her mother then reveals the true point she wishes to make, announcing that Erica is banned from climbing out of windows at night. Erica is left wondering how the conversation somehow arrived at that conclusion. The Duchess also recalls that while the knights were searching for the two children, they discovered the magic beast's lair and learned that Erica was the one who had knocked it down. Erica wonders whether her father had trapped the magic beast from the previous night. Her mother then explains that one of the most important parts of hunting a magic beast is ensuring that it is completely finished off. She reveals that she brought the creature back because it is still breathing. Since it is the first prey Erica has ever captured, she suggests that Erica finish it off herself. Erica cannot help but wonder why it sounds as though her mother is doing her a favor. Looking at the creature, Erica notices its cute, rabbit-like eyes and cannot help thinking that this suggestion is exactly the sort of thing her mother would do. After all, the Duchess was once known as the Witch of the Battlefield during the war against the Corn Empire. Erica finds herself thinking that the rabbit looks remarkably beautiful. She wonders what she should do with it. At that moment, a knock sounds at the door, and her personal maid, Betty, enters the room. Betty asks Erica how she is feeling, and then notices the rabbit, immediately wondering where Erica found such a cute bunny. Erica has heard that the servants of this household are generally quite skilled fighters, but seeing Betty fall for such an obvious trick reassures her that Betty is not one of those exceptional individuals. Betty notices that some patches of the rabbit's fur are missing, and wonders who could have treated the poor little creature so cruelly. She remarks that it will look even cuter once its fur grows back. Hearing this causes Erica to think carefully about the rabbit. Although it appears injured and harmless on the outside, it could easily become aggressive again if surrounded by enemies. Yet instead of acting hostile, it is subtly using its appearance to gain sympathy and affection from those around it. Erica even suspects that it is reading the expressions on their faces. She wonders whether she should follow her mother's advice and kill it. Then she reminds herself that magic beasts are suppressed because of the danger they pose to human beings. As long as this rabbit does not present any threat, perhaps there is no reason to take its life. Her thoughts drift to a memory from her previous life concerning how her father dealt with stubborn animals. She recalls complaining to him about a particularly rebellious creature. Her father had explained that not every animal is naturally obedient to humans. In situations like that, a very simple method is used. One must teach the animal to understand the difference between reward and punishment, allowing firm discipline to be established and maintained. As for punishment, Erica recalls what her father had said in her previous life. He explained that since it was a magic beast, it would likely possess a very strong body and could endure harsher discipline than ordinary animals. As for rewards, food would naturally be the best option. The problem, however, was that the beast's preferred food happened to be human beings. Before Erica can dwell on the matter any longer, she asks Betty whether she came to see her for some specific reason. Betty replies that she did indeed have business with her, but she became distracted by the bunny. She then hands over an item she had brought with her. The moment Erica sees it, her eyes light up with excitement. It is the rice seedlings she had been searching for. She immediately tells Betty that she had completely forgotten about them and sincerely thanks her. Betty explains that she found Roel holding them so tightly in his hand that she assumed they must be incredibly precious. She also casually mentions that Roel had actually tried to burn them the moment he first saw them. This revelation leaves Erica puzzled. She knows Roel has an overprotective side to him, but she had nearly risked her life to obtain these seeds, so why had he reacted that way? She wonders whether he disliked them because they originated from a magic beast. If she wishes to cultivate these rice seeds properly, she will need to use magic, and she is not entirely sure Roll would be willing to do her that favor. As her thoughts continue to wander, Erica begins reflecting on the Holy Sword. As far as she remembers from the original story, the sword was destined to choose the female protagonist as its master. Garcian, the Holy Sword, had originally been a treasured heirloom of the Asgard household. However, after Erica's execution was ordered, the ducal couple offered the treasured blade to the imperial family in exchange for sparing their daughter's life. Later, while working undercover as a knight within the imperial palace, Pandora happened to discover Garcian. The Holy Sword accepted Pandora as its master almost immediately. Even after escaping execution, Erica never repented for her actions in the original timeline. If anything, her jealousy only grew stronger because her family's treasured heirloom had chosen Pandora instead of her. Eventually, consumed by envy, she attempted to kill Pandora. Unaware that this single decision would set her on the path toward complete ruin, she ultimately brought about her own destruction. Remembering all of this, Erica concludes that if she wishes to survive, the original story must be changed. Perhaps she should start by focusing on her farm. Suddenly, a voice interrupts her and tells her to stop what she is doing. Erica immediately looks around in confusion, wondering where the voice came from. The source quickly reveals itself to be Garcian. The Holy Sword shouts at her, demanding to know whether she truly failed to recognize his voice. Only then does Erica remember that he is capable of speaking. Garcian proudly declares that he is the legendary Holy Sword. Having awakened from a 1,000-year-long slumber, he asks how she feels about meeting him. Without waiting for an answer, he confidently assumes that she is so overwhelmed with excitement that she has become speechless. Erica can only stare at him while wondering what he is even talking about and what the supposed 1,000-year sleep has to do with anything. Garcian continues grandly, asking whether she wishes to save the world, exterminate all magic beasts, establish a world ruled solely by humans, or eliminate every enemy that threatens her life. He tells her to simply name her wish. Erica calmly informs him that she has only one wish. Without hesitation, she jumps to her feet and enthusiastically praises him. She explains that a hoe is far more useful than a sword when it comes to plowing fields. Since she intends to plow the right side of her farm today, having him around makes her feel incredibly reassured. She also tells him not to interrupt because she is discussing something very important. This immediately angers Garcian, who demands to know how such a thing could possibly be important. Erica patiently explains that she must dig up the field before planting seeds. Garcian is utterly horrified and asks how she could say something so absurd. He demands to know what she takes him for. In response, Erica innocently asks whether he dislikes taking the form of a hoe. If that is the case, she can always transform him into something else. Garcian quickly retreats through the air and protests furiously, declaring that she has wounded the pride of a holy sword by suggesting such a thing. He asks whether she is making fun of him, reminding her that he is a sacred weapon. Rather than being intimidated, Erica becomes even more excited. The fact that he can fly amazes her. She enthusiastically praises him, calling him incredible and perfect. Garcian immediately begins laughing proudly and boasts that there is nothing he cannot do. He can fly, extend his own length, and perform countless other feats because he is Garcian, the one and only Holy Sword. Erica excitedly leaps toward him and grabs hold of him. In the process, she accidentally breaks a nearby table, silently reminding herself that she is still too young to fully control her tremendous strength. She then asks Garcian to repeat what he had been saying earlier. This time, his tone changes dramatically. Addressing her as his master, he suggests that perhaps they should calmly discuss the matter. He quickly agrees to help with the plowing, claiming that he excels at everything anyway. Satisfied, Erica remarks that he is finally speaking reasonably. Meanwhile, the injured rabbit quietly attempts to sneak away. The moment Erica notices, she immediately orders it to stop and demands to know where it thinks it is going. Deciding not to waste any more time, she prepares to head outside and begin plowing. After all, as the saying goes, one should never put off until tomorrow what can be done today. As for troublesome magic beasts, they can always be dealt with today as well. Turning her attention toward the rabbit, whom she calls Veldon, Erica announces that it is finally time for the creature's punishment to begin. After using both words and punishment appropriately, Erica finally manages to tame the magic beast. To test the results, she offers something to the raccoon and watches as he sniffs it before immediately beginning to eat. Seeing his reaction, she concludes that it clearly suits his tastes, proving once again that chicken never fails to satisfy. With that simple discovery, the problem of her pet magic beast's diet is resolved. As for his aggressiveness, which has been her greatest headache from the beginning, she succeeds in driving most of it out of him after delivering quite a few holy hits. Although he is far from perfect, he now looks very much like a normal pet. Aside from occasionally using petty tricks, he is not particularly troublesome anymore. After deciding to adopt the raccoon permanently, Erica plans to make him her farming assistant. She introduces him to seeds and makes it clear that planting them will be his job from now on. Several days pass, and the raccoon is finally reborn as a respectable farming assistant who performs surprisingly well when it comes to planting seeds. During this time, Felix arrives and observes the situation. He notices how serious Erica is about raising the beast and realizes that she truly intends to continue. Erica explains that the raccoon has turned out to be far more useful than she originally expected. Felix finds the sight astonishing, remarking that no one has ever successfully trained a creature born as a fierce magic beast. Erica insists that her raccoon is actually quite docile, but at that very moment she notices him beginning to show signs of anger again. Immediately she starts scolding him, reminding him that she specifically told him not to bare his fangs. Watching this scene leaves Felix unable to believe that a magic beast can be tamed so easily by a human. The more Felix watches, the more convinced he becomes that Erica is anything but ordinary. His observation causes Erica to wonder what exactly he means by that statement. Felix explains that if she ever needs a magic beast controller, she should let him know, since such a device can restrain a magic beast's power to a certain degree. Erica is surprised to learn that something like that even exists and promptly asks him to obtain one for her. Afterward, Felix spends a moment observing her farm before noticing that she appears ready to leave. When he wonders whether she is going somewhere, Erica reveals that she is heading to the Magic Tower. Although the work on her farm is progressing smoothly, one major problem continues to trouble her. Ever since returning, she has not seen Roel even once. She has repeatedly attempted to contact him through a magic stone and has left several messages, but none of them receive a response. A full week passes without any word from him, prompting her to decide that she must visit the Magic Tower herself. She intends to apologize to Roel once more when she sees him, and then ask about the magic sealing the rice seed. Upon arriving, however, she is met by the principal, who informs her that Roel is currently unavailable. Since she does not intend to take much of his time, Erica finds this answer surprising. The principal explains that he himself has attempted to contact Roel's room several times, but has never received a response. Roel has taken sick leave and has not appeared at his laboratory. Considering the recent incident at the Ducal Palace, the principal assumes that he is probably still recovering. Nevertheless, he does not believe the situation is serious and encourages Erica not to worry. His reassurance does little to ease her concerns. In the novel, Roel hides his true magical power until he eventually becomes an archmage. Since he also participated in the battle against the dragon, Erica suspects he may have been forced to use more power than usual and could have suffered a direct blow. Even so, she knows Roel is an exceptionally capable magician and doubts he could have been seriously injured. Believing the matter to be less severe than it appears, she decides to return again the next day. Unfortunately, the next day brings the same result. The principal once again explains that Roel seems to be unwell. The following day, and even the day after that, the excuses continue. One day he claims that Roel is occupied with personal matters, and another day he simply apologizes and turns her away. After being rejected several days in a row, Erica can no longer ignore the obvious truth. Roel is deliberately avoiding her. Finally, she arrives one day and directly asks where Roel's room is located. The principal immediately begins acting as though he has somehow forgotten where the room is, but Erica is not fooled. She recalls hearing that rookies are assigned rooms on the first floor, and confidently states that Roel's room must be at the end of the first floor hallway. Before the principal can properly respond, she is already gone. Watching her leave, he realizes there is little point in trying to stop her now. Eventually, Erica reaches Roel's door and begins pounding on it. She repeatedly asks him to open the door, insisting that she has something she needs to say. She pleads for an opportunity to talk, fully aware that he is listening from inside. Despite her efforts, no response comes from the other side. Frustration steadily builds within her until she finally declares that he can do as he pleases because she no longer cares about him. Turning away, she announces that she is leaving. Moments later, however, she raises her voice once again, emphasizing that she is truly leaving this time. From inside the room, Roel looks out through the window and notices that she is indeed walking away. Afterward, Erica continues making every possible effort to meet Roel, but no matter how hard she tries, she never manages to see him. As the days pass, Her birthday draws closer, and she begins wondering whether he intends to remain shut away inside the magic tower, even on that day. While she is lost in thought, her mother suddenly calls out to her and asks whether she plans to stay home all day or if she would like to go somewhere. Not long afterward, they arrive at a noble residence that Erica has not visited in a very long time. Her mother exchanges greetings with a noblewoman who warmly welcomes them and thanks them for taking the time to visit. Erica's mother explains that since their dear friend is unwell, it is only natural that they come. The Duchess expresses her gratitude and says she is glad they accepted the invitation. At that moment, Erica begins sweating nervously as she realizes what is happening. She has not even resolved the issue with Roel yet, and she never imagined that her mother's destination would be the Riapis estate. The Duchess soon explains that she has someone she would like to introduce. Erica politely greets the lady before her, and the woman introduces herself as the Duchess of Riapis. Upon hearing that name, Erica immediately realizes that she is standing before the male lead's mother. The conversation continues as Erica's mother asks how the Duchess has been feeling lately and whether her condition has improved. The Duchess replies that she continues to follow her physician's treatment, but unfortunately, there has been little change. Elsewhere in the mansion, a young boy quietly stands watching the gathering from a distance until a maid approaches and informs him that his grace is looking for him. Meanwhile, Erica focuses on her meal and wonders why the atmosphere feels so quiet. She briefly questions whether she has simply become too absorbed in eating to notice what is happening around her. As the gathering continues, the Duchess speaks honestly about her regrets. She confesses that she wishes she could have raised her son in a normal way, sharing laughter with him, spending time together, and openly showing him affection whenever she desired. Unfortunately, she explains that the burden carried by their family name makes such simple happiness impossible. Speaking in a calm but lonely voice, she asks Erica's mother to look after her son if something ever happens to her. Hearing those words leaves a deep impression on Erica, who cannot help noticing the loneliness hidden beneath the Duchess's composed expression. Later, after returning home, Erica prepares to head out for work and calls for the raccoon, only to realize that he is nowhere to be found. Unknown to her, the raccoon is hiding. Ever since recovering much of his strength, he has become increasingly frustrated. He desperately wants to transform back into his true beast form and take revenge, but the magic beast controller prevents him from doing so. While brooding over his misfortune, he is discovered by Erica, who casually asks what he is doing there, before picking him up and carrying him toward the fields. The raccoon silently fumes. He is tired of everything. The boy who constantly watches him through the curtains, the uncivilized little farming fanatic who drags him around, and the entire collection of strange people surrounding him. If possible, he would gladly escape from all of them, even if only for a single day. Elsewhere, Guardian enthusiastically discusses farming with an accountant, proudly pointing out how much faster he is and insisting that the results clearly prove his superiority. He declares himself the very embodiment of perfection, claiming that he remains cool and wonderful, even in the humble form of a farming tool. Watching this behavior, Erica thinks that Guardian has become surprisingly obsessed with agriculture. At the same time, she notices that the troublesome bird has been showing his fangs far less frequently than before. Later, Erica gazes at her rice seeds once again and reflects on the problem that still remains unsolved. She has asked numerous magicians at the Magic Tower about the magical seal placed on them, but none of them know how to break it. As far as she can tell, Roel is the only person who possesses the answer. After all, he is the greatest magician in the novel. Unfortunately, meeting him has become practically impossible. Setting that issue aside, another concern comes to mind. She still has not told her parents about becoming the master of the Holy Sword. No one in the household would object to her inheriting such an important family treasure, but she knows exactly what would happen if they learned the truth. They would immediately insist that she devote herself to swordsmanship lessons. Her etiquette classes already consume far too much of her time that she would much rather spend farming. Within 5 years, her official training as the family heir is destined to begin, whether she wants it or not. For that reason, she decides that the best course of action is to keep her status as the Holy Sword's master a secret for now. Since her parents are currently preoccupied with the Magic Beast issue, hiding it should not be difficult. Having organized her thoughts, she decides that it is time to end the day's work and tells everyone to wrap things up and head inside. Night eventually falls, and silence settles over the estate. Unbeknownst to Erica, however, someone has entered her room. The mysterious visitor reaches down and picks up the raccoon. Instantly offended, the raccoon is ready to protest being handled so casually, but his irritation vanishes the moment he recognizes the intruder. His eyes widen in shock. Standing there is Roel. Staring at the unexpected visitor, the raccoon can only wonder what in the world this boy is doing in Erica's room in the middle of the night. Roel remarks that perhaps he should simply kill it, a statement that immediately makes the raccoon cry. The creature believes that Roel is hundreds of times scarier than the human girl. Roel admits that he simply cannot understand how Erica can be so generous toward a magical beast that had nearly killed her. He wonders whether she truly cannot sense the murderous intent radiating from it. The whole situation unsettles him because the beast does not seem to recognize its own guilt at all. Because of that creature, he had almost lost her. His thoughts drift to the past, where the Duchess once asks him to look at his newborn sister, and tells him that she is his sister. Roel gazes at the infant, and thinks that she is so tiny that he is afraid he might hurt her if he touches her. The baby appears so fragile and precious that he cannot even bring himself to hold her. Simply watching her all day fills him with happiness. With such a beautiful baby girl born into their family, he believes that they will become a perfect family. However, he is mistaken. His only sister eventually grows up not needing him at all. Watching her deny his existence is deeply painful, prompting him to leave for the Magic Tower. Even now, he wonders why she is suddenly acting differently. He does not want to be rejected by her again, yet he finds himself being swayed by her once more. He follows her because he fears she might enter a forest swarming with magical beasts. When he sees her become involved with danger, a rush of anger surges through him. That anger is why he distances himself from her. He refuses to let her walk all over him again. As he drinks his tea, Roel reflects that from the very moment Erica is born, he never stops wanting to protect and cherish her. In his mind, she is always the one who treats him harshly and keeps him at a distance. His attention then returns to the magical beast, and he wonders why it even has a name. He warns the raccoon that if it wishes to stay alive, it had better behave itself. The instant it entertains the thought of harming Erica, the spell he has placed upon it will cause its head to explode. He could kill it immediately if he wishes, but he hesitates. If Erica were to hate him again because of such an action, he realizes that it would make him feel terrible. Before dwelling on the thought any further, he throws the raccoon aside and tells it to get lost. The poor creature begins trembling uncontrollably, thinking that it has never been so frightened in its life. Roel then turns his thoughts toward Erica and admits that he hates her. He hates her because she constantly stirs his emotions and leaves him conflicted. Yet he also hates himself for allowing her to affect him so deeply. The raccoon watches all of this and concludes that Roel is an absolute lunatic. Calling upon the great god of all magical beasts in his mind, the terrified creature wonders how it has somehow ended up trapped in a den full of complete psychos. The following morning finally arrives. Erica wakes up and looks around, wondering why the raccoon is sleeping down there. Before she can think much further, Betty knocks on the door and informs her that she has arrived just in time because her grace is waiting for her. Curious about the sudden summons, Erica asks for an explanation, but Betty admits that she is unsure because she has not been given any details. Erica immediately becomes nervous. There are far too many possible reasons for her mother to call for her, making it impossible to guess which one it might be. The scene then shifts to her mother, who questions whether Erica is even listening. Apologizing, Erica asks what her mother has been saying. Her mother reminds her that her birthday is just around the corner and that she will be turning 10 this year. Since reaching the age of 10 signifies that she is ready to become a public member of the family, the Duchess has been considering hosting a grand banquet to celebrate the occasion. She asks Erica what she thinks, and Erica happily agrees that she would love such a celebration. The Duchess then mentions that some strange rumors have been circulating lately. She proceeds to ask Erica whether she knows where the Holy Sword is. The family heirloom has suddenly disappeared, and she has heard that Erica has successfully turned over a new leaf. Although the Duchess knows that Erica occasionally takes the sword to her room, she admits that it has been quite some time since she last saw it. Erica quickly assures her that there is no need to worry because she has been keeping it safely in her room. She explains that she feels proud whenever she looks at it and wants to admire it whenever possible. Internally, Erica braces herself, expecting a scolding and an order to return the sword immediately. Instead, her mother calmly tells her to keep it safe. After all, even Erica's father failed to be chosen by it, and perhaps Erica may someday become its master. Furthermore, everything in the house belongs to her anyway. The Duchess merely cautions her not to lose it or injure herself with it. Relieved, Erica obediently agrees, while secretly thinking that her mother clearly has no idea that the Holy Sword has transformed into a hoe. The Duchess then brings up another matter, mentioning that she has heard rumors that Erica has been growing crops lately. At that moment, Erica realizes that the most feared moment has finally arrived. Her mother immediately refuses. Without giving Erica any time to analyze the situation further, she firmly says no. Confused, Erica asks why. The Duchess explains that Erica is the daughter of a ducal family, not a farmer. In response, Erica questions whether there is some rule stating that a duke's daughter cannot become a farmer. Her mother points out that the condition of the back garden is already proof of why such concerns exist, and reminds Erica of the chaos she has created there. She then asks Erica to listen carefully. Their family is rather reserved and isolated, which is why Erica has spent much of her life alone. However, there are countless people outside who wish to become close to the daughter of a ducal house. The Duchess clarifies that not all of those people will be friendly. In fact, there will be even more people who eagerly wait for her to make the slightest mistake so that they can criticize and slander her. Erica silently acknowledges that reality. She knows she will have many enemies, and even the smallest error could damage her reputation. It is exactly how the spoiled Erica in the novel becomes ostracized and ultimately meets a tragic end through execution. Her mother continues by explaining that although Erica's social debut is still 7 years away, she has a great deal to learn before then. After all, she is the future Duchess of this house. Hearing that, Erica suddenly realizes something she has completely forgotten. She is the heir to a ducal family. She has been so focused on surviving and farming that she has neglected to think about her responsibilities as the future head of the household. After considering her mother's words, Erica agrees. She states that once she reaches the appropriate age, she will take the necessary lessons, but she asks whether she can continue working on her farm. The Duchess explains that such lessons are indispensable and cannot be avoided. Erica quickly promises that if she is allowed to continue farming, she will work just as hard in both her education and training. Since the original Erica has been unruly from a young age, her mother has undoubtedly worried for years about how to properly educate her as the family's heir. Erica assures her that if she ever breaks her promise, the Duchess can withdraw her permission immediately. After hearing such determination, her mother finally relents and agrees. However, she makes it clear that farming must remain nothing more than a hobby. As promised, Erica's formal lessons will begin when the appropriate time comes. This fills Erica with relief. Obtaining permission from her parents has been the greatest obstacle standing in her way. Now she feels free to continue farming without worry. Little does she realize that the promise she has just made will bring unexpected troubles for her in the future. Time passes, and the scene shifts to a maid asking Erica whether she would like to look in the mirror. It is finally the day of her 10th birthday banquet. Looking at her reflection, Erica thinks she appears quite presentable. Betty enthusiastically declares that she looks exactly like a fairy, and even comments that they happen to have fairy wings available as well. At that moment, the Duke of Tarmar enters the room and excitedly announces that his little princess is there. Erica smiles and confirms his statement. To her surprise, however, the Duke suddenly freezes. She wonders what is wrong with him because she expects him to greet her with one of his usual hugs. Instead, tears begin streaming down his face as he laments that he should have commissioned far more portraits of her over the years. Soon, both Betty and the Duke are crying while repeatedly commenting that she is already 10 years old. Watching their dramatic reactions, Erica cannot help thinking that someone unfamiliar with the situation might assume she is about to die at the age of 10. Eventually, the birthday banquet begins. The Duke and Betty continue crying so much that Erica can barely calm them down. As she observes the festivities, she remembers that in the original novel, Roel attends her 10th birthday banquet. However, after being cruelly insulted in public, he completely closes his heart to Erica. According to the original story, Roel should certainly appear today. This may finally be her chance to speak with him properly. To her surprise, not only does Roel arrive, but several magicians from the Magic Tower also attend the celebration. They enthusiastically announce that they have come to celebrate her birthday, causing Erica to wonder why all of the magicians seem unusually energetic today. At some point, she slips away from the banquet hall. Moments later, the magicians begin searching frantically, wondering where she has disappeared to. They continue looking around in confusion, asking where she could possibly be since she was standing there only a moment ago. Erica, meanwhile, apologizes to them in her mind. She cannot afford to become distracted and miss this opportunity to meet Roel. While quietly buying herself some time, she considers where he might be. When she finally opens a door, she immediately finds him standing directly in front of her. Although she has always known that Roel is handsome, seeing him dressed up for the banquet leaves her momentarily dazzled. Roel asks whether she intends to speak with him. Erica responds by saying that she is angry with him. Meanwhile, the magicians continue searching throughout the hall for a certain someone. Roel casually remarks that perhaps that particular person simply does not wish to be found. Erica instantly begs him not to tell them where she is hiding. In response, Raul smirks and allows a genuine smile to appear on his face. Seeing it, Erica is stunned and cannot help wondering whether he is truly smiling at her right now. Raul questions whether Erica is truly tired of him now. As he leans closer, he explains that he had thought she was looking for him earlier at the banquet hall and wonders how much longer she intends to remain angry with him. His words immediately make Erica question whether he has been watching her the entire time. She points out that he is the one who has been avoiding her. Raul explains that she changed so drastically overnight that he did not know how to react. For years, she had openly made it clear that she disliked him, and he had been afraid that if he approached her simply because of her sudden change in attitude, she would run away from him once again. That fear is the reason he kept his distance. After admitting this, he turns away and remarks that he only came to tell her that much and should leave now. Erica is left wondering if he truly intends to walk away so easily. She has finally managed to speak with him, and if she lets him leave now, she fears the opportunity will disappear forever, leaving their relationship beyond repair. Acting on impulse, she reaches out and grabs his hand, insisting that she will not run away. Even though she is not entirely certain she understands everything he has said, she firmly declares that if his concern is that she will leave, then she will not. Raul gently removes his hand from her grasp, leaving Erica wondering what she must do to earn his trust. She begins listing all the reasons she has no intention of leaving. The soil on her farm is rich with nutrients and leaf mold, providing excellent drainage and the perfect balance of moisture and nourishment. In addition, the magician has promised to assist with the farm work. Because of all that, she insists she would never abandon her farm. After explaining herself, she asks whether he feels reassured now. Raul asks whether she truly has no intention of running away, and she answers affirmatively. He then asks whether it is because she is happy with her sword, and she eagerly confirms that she is. He moves on to ask about her farm work, and she readily admits that she loves it. He asks about their mother and father, and she immediately says she loves them as well. Finally, he asks about himself. Without thinking, she enthusiastically admits that she loves him too. The moment the words leave her mouth, she startles herself. Raul also freezes briefly before breaking into laughter. Seeing him laugh causes Erica to smile as well. Although she questions what that reaction is supposed to mean, she admits that she is still somewhat angry with him. She then wonders whether he plans to avoid her again. Raul replies that he does not know. His answer reminds Erica of how she had gone to his room every day, calling his name repeatedly, only for him to never answer. She had been so upset by his avoidance that she even cultivated crops in the yard of the magician's tower. Raul questions why she became so upset over it, and Erica admits that she had been afraid he no longer wanted to see her. A grin spreads across his face, making her suspect that he is simply teasing her now. Leaning closer, he questions whether she had really been anxious that he might not want to see her anymore. Although his behavior is undeniably irritating, it still pales in comparison to the way she treated him in the past. Erica wonders whether he hated those years of mistreatment. In response, he asks how she believes he felt. Then, to her surprise, he admits that he actually felt rather good about it. Holding her hand, Raul invites her to dance. Erica immediately wonders whether she can interpret this invitation as a gesture of reconciliation between them. Deciding to accept it as such, she agrees, and the two begin dancing together. As they move across the floor, she recognizes the melody and realizes it is the very song they practiced dancing to when they were younger. There was a period when she began bullying Raul, but before those unhappy years, they had spent countless hours together, sharing a close bond. Remembering those days, she proudly boasts about her excellent dancing skills and promises to surprise him. While they dance, however, her thoughts return to something he mentioned earlier. Curious about what he truly meant, she asks herself about his comment regarding her running away. She reflects on whether he is worried that she might one day hate him again. Raul confirms that this is part of the reason, but not the entire explanation. He does not want her to make a fool of him either. Erica quickly insists that she would never do such a thing again, because she is no longer the same person she once was. Yet Raul explains that there is still another concern. According to him, once she sets her mind on something, she refuses to give up. She pursues her goals with relentless determination and often vanishes while chasing after whatever has captured her attention. Hearing this assessment leaves Erica somewhat surprised because it is partially accurate. She has already considered abandoning the duchy in order to cultivate rice. Even the Erica from the original story had thrown herself completely into her pursuit of the crown prince, ultimately losing her life because of it. As these thoughts pass through her mind, she suddenly notices flowers blooming all around her. The beautiful scene catches her attention just as Roll reaches down and picks one of the flowers. Presenting it to her, he wishes her a happy birthday. The simple gesture leaves a deep impression on Erica. At that moment, she realizes that despite all his complaints, worries, and frustrations, Roel has always been willing to do anything for her. Even when it involves something he does not particularly want to do, he still finds himself unable to turn his back on her. The flower in his hand becomes a quiet symbol of that unwavering devotion, and as the two continue their dance surrounded by blossoms, the distance that once separated them gradually begins to disappear. The following morning, Erica can be heard shouting in discomfort, while Betty urges her to remain still for a little longer. Erica insists that it hurts too much. Betty carefully massages her legs and remarks that she does not want such pretty legs to become covered in muscle aches. The reason for Erica's condition quickly becomes apparent. The previous night, immediately after finishing her reconciliation dance with Rowell, she had been asked to dance by one person after another. Starting with her father, then Kyle, Hubert, Felix, and even the magician from the Magic Tower, nearly everyone had requested a dance. Because she spent almost the entire banquet dancing non-stop, she never even had the chance to properly greet the young gentleman who attended her birthday celebration. As a result, her legs are now aching terribly. Erica insists that she is perfectly fine and confidently declares that a little field work would surely make her feel better. Betty immediately points out that Erica speaks as though farm work is some kind of cure-all remedy for every problem. Changing the subject, Betty asks whether she managed to open all of her birthday presents. Erica proudly confirms that she did. From beautiful dresses and elegant coats to boots, ribbons, and precious jewelry, she carefully opened every single gift before going to bed. Betty then becomes curious about what Roel gave her. She assumes it might have been a magical device, considering that his magical abilities have reportedly been improving every day. Since true magicians are incredibly rare on the continent and most spend their lives secluded within the Magic Tower conducting research, receiving a magical item from one is considered a tremendous honor. At that moment, Erica suddenly realizes something important. Thinking back, she cannot remember receiving any gift from Roel at all. Every year, he had always given her something, at least until the previous year. Even if only out of courtesy, he had never failed to present her with a birthday gift. She briefly wonders whether the flowers he conjured during their dance were meant to be his present, but she quickly dismisses the idea. Turning to Betty, she admits that Roel never actually gave her a gift. Betty is immediately shocked. She finds it impossible to believe that Master Roel would truly attend Erica's birthday without bringing a present. Determined to solve the mystery, Erica declares that she should go to the Magic Tower immediately and ask him for one. Betty enthusiastically agrees and insists that she absolutely should do so. She even offers to help Erica get dressed right away. Erica secretly thinks that this provides the perfect excuse to visit the Magic Tower. More importantly, she intends to use the opportunity to ask Roel to break the seal on the necklace that very day. Soon afterward, Erica arrives at the Magic Tower. As she approaches, she thinks that her bribe is finally ready and hopes that after receiving it, Roel will agree to help her. She cannot help wondering whether he might simply refuse her request outright. Gathering her courage, she knocks on his window, but no response comes from inside. Silence fills the room. Looking around suspiciously, she wonders whether nobody is there. Assuming that might be the case, she decides she may as well climb through the window herself. Just as she opens it, she discovers that Roel has been inside all along. He immediately questions what she is doing there. Erica explains that she called for him, but he apparently did not hear her. Knowing that bringing up the subject of her birthday gift immediately would make her seem shameless, she quickly improvises another excuse. She claims that she simply came to rest there because the weather is pleasant, the breeze is cool, and it feels like a wonderful place to relax. Unfortunately, the moment she says this, rain suddenly begins falling from the sky. The unexpected weather completely ruins her excuse, leaving her internally panicking because this is definitely not how she expected things to go. Abandoning her original plan, she quickly presents the item she brought and explains that she made it herself specifically for him. Then she asks whether he would accept it. However, when she looks at his face, she immediately notices the expression he is wearing. It is the unmistakable look of someone wondering what she is truly plotting. Feeling slightly embarrassed, she awkwardly says that she will simply leave it there. She had thought the two of them had become somewhat closer recently, but now she is no longer certain. Then she notices Roel reaching toward the flower crown. Seeing this, she wonders whether he is actually showing interest in her gift after all. Rather than putting it on himself, Roel calmly tells her that she should place it on him personally. Erica cannot help wondering why he cannot simply put a flower crown on his own head. At the same time, she notices that he does not seem to be lowering his head for her on purpose, Just as she is about to complain, he begins teasing her again. Erika immediately accuses him of being uncooperative, especially considering how stubborn he has been regarding the magic seal. In response, Roll casually uses magic, causing her body to float into the air. Suddenly suspended above the ground, Erika stares in amazement as she begins drifting effortlessly. Roll asks whether she can manage now. To her surprise, she realizes that he has also used magic to keep her completely dry, despite the rain. The realization leaves her deeply impressed. She no longer has to worry about getting soaked at all. Accepting defeat, she finally places the flower crown onto his head. Looking at him afterward, she cannot help admiring how beautiful he appears. In her eyes, he looks almost like a fairy. At that moment, she feels as though she is finally seeing the real Roll, rather than the version described in the novel. In the original story, Roel and Erika were destined to drift apart and eventually hurt one another. But she firmly believes that future can still be changed. She feels grateful that she regained the memories of her previous life because it allowed her to recognize her mistakes before it was too late. As she loses herself in those thoughts, Roel remarks that if she has finished giving her gift, then perhaps it is now his turn to give her one. He calmly reveals that the thing she truly wants is for him to break the seal on the necklace. His words instantly startle her. She has no idea when he managed to take the necklace from her. Shocked, she asks how he knew. Roel simply explains that she always carries it with her. His answer leaves Erika wondering whether he has been paying attention to her all this time. Then excitement overwhelms her. At long last, the rice seeds she has been desperately seeking are finally within her reach. She thanks him, and with that, she goes and hugs him, declaring that he is the best. From now on, he is her fairy, the future magician, the best of the best. However, with a single snap, he sends her back to her room. The sudden change of scenery makes her wonder if this is truly her room. Perhaps she has made him so bashful that he simply teleported her away. The thought causes her to smile to herself as she concludes that he is such a shy baby. Now, she can finally grow rice, and her dream seems to be on the verge of coming true. Or, so she believes. It soon proves to be nothing more than wishful thinking. Thanks to the magician, her farm expands without any problems, and all of her other crops grow well enough to be harvested soon. Yet for some reason, her rice, the crop that should be the most important of all, refuses to sprout. After the seal on the necklace is broken, she manages to obtain only 5 rice seeds. She carefully plants one of them in a seed bed after soaking it in water and waits patiently. But there is no sign of budding. She begins to wonder if the seeds are dead. Now that she can examine them more closely, something about them seems strange. They appear dry and lifeless, lacking any sign of vitality. The realization makes her want to cry. As though breaking the seal had not already been troublesome enough, it seems she now has to figure out how to bring the seeds back to life as well. At that moment, she recalls that there may be someone capable of reviving her rice. Among the 2 prominent ducal families in the Rice Empire, the other being House Ray Pie, there is a duke's son known for possessing a life-infusing hand. Shan, one of the main leads of the novel, might be able to help. Even so, she knows approaching him could be dangerous. If something goes wrong, and events begin to unfold exactly as they do in the novel, she could find herself trapped in an unwanted situation. Convinced that there must be another way, she resolves to find a method of reviving the rice seeds on her own. 5 years pass just like that, yet she remains completely clueless. She sits quietly, lost in thought despite enjoying another rich harvest that year. Her fields continue to prosper, but she still has not found a way to revive her precious rice seeds. The question continues to haunt her. Is the male lead truly the only option left? She wonders about it constantly, yet the people of that household are known to be mostly black-hearted, making her extremely reluctant to involve herself with any of them. Even if she were to meet him, what would happen afterward? She has no idea how she would even begin to get close to him. After thinking it over countless times, she decides that she should continue searching for another solution. She has been extremely careful all these years to avoid becoming involved with any of the male leads, with perhaps one exception. Suddenly, her eyes widen. Everything she is holding slips from her hands as she notices someone standing directly in front of her. The boy calmly uses magic, causing the fallen candies to clean themselves before neatly returning to the jar. Erika quickly picks up the jar and thanks him, but a chill runs through her entire body. Instinct alone tells her exactly who he is. The light sky blue hair and bright blue eyes leave no room for doubt. This is that person. This is the guy. At that exact moment, her mother comes rushing over while calling out to her. She reminds Erika that she had already informed her that her teacher would be arriving today. Her mother questions whether she has forgotten the promise she made to begin her lessons after her 15th birthday. Then her mother notices the young man standing nearby and immediately beams with delight. She proceeds to introduce them properly, explaining that since they have already met, there is no need for further delay. This young gentleman will be Erika's teacher starting today. His name is Shan. Although he is still quite young, he possesses one of the finest academic backgrounds in the entire empire and should have no difficulty teaching her. Erika feels as though she is trapped inside a dream. Right after deciding that she would never meet him, he appears directly in front of her. The timing is so absurd that she begins to wonder if she has somehow raised a death flag against herself. Shan politely greets her and expresses his pleasure at meeting her. Meanwhile, Erika silently thanks her mother from the bottom of her heart, though only in the most sarcastic way possible, because in her opinion, the gift her mother has just handed her is nothing less than a pile of poop. Generation after generation, divine power runs through the Reicpie family, which is why they earn the nickname Reapiece of the Shield. Although it is not impossible to use this divine power offensively, its destructive capability is actually weaker than magic power, and for that reason, its force itself is not highly recognized. The true value of this divine power lies in the self-healing ability flowing through their bloodline, a miraculous power that allows them to recover from near-fatal wounds. As a member of Erika's family, a house renowned for producing individuals blessed with absolute memory, Shan is known as a genius in nearly every field. However, his true strength comes from a hidden force. He is the leader of Makuli, an underground organization he establishes with the goal of seizing the throne from the imperial family. At this moment, however, that same man is busy grading Erika's test papers. Money always talks, and it even results in her future antagonist becoming her tutor. While reviewing her results, Shan notices that she achieves full marks only in botany, while completely failing nearly every other subject. Subjects unrelated to farming simply refuse to stay in her head. He observes that her grades are particularly poor in imperial language and history, and concludes that those areas require the most attention. Despite being the future leader of a rebellion, he proves to be remarkably diligent and patient as a teacher. Rather than scolding her for her terrible scores, he calmly discusses them. During their conversation, he becomes curious about when she develops such a strong interest in botany. Erika explains that she genuinely loves growing plants and crops, which naturally leads her to become fascinated by the subject. Hearing this, Shan admits that her level of botanical knowledge surprises him, and that even experts in the field would be impressed. Erika cannot help feeling pleased. Receiving praise from someone considered a genius by the entire world feels unexpectedly rewarding. As their discussion continues, Shan remarks that she seems somewhat different lately, and asks whether she personally tends the farm. Erika confirms that she does all the work herself. She proudly explains that she harvests sweet potatoes the previous day, works with regular potatoes today, and even creates a flower bed. Thinking of her flowers immediately brightens her mood, and she enthusiastically wonders whether he has seen them because they are so beautiful. Realizing how much she is talking, she becomes aware that farming makes her genuinely happy and causes her to become unusually chatty. The mention of happiness catches Shan's attention. Erika explains that people naturally become happy when they spend time doing something they love, and wonders whether there is anything that gives him the same feeling. After considering the question for a while, he admits that nothing comes to mind. Erika is not particularly surprised. After all, he is destined to become the future antagonist. Expecting an easy answer from him would be unrealistic. He then asks whether she knows of a plant called the red spider lily, also known as the red resurrection lily. The sudden change of topic confuses Erika, but she acknowledges that she knows of the flower. When he asks whether she knows the reason behind its name, she admits that she does not. Shan explains that the flower receives its name because its leaves and blossoms can never meet. The flowers bloom before the leaves emerge, and by the time the leaves begin to grow, the flowers have already withered away. To him, happiness resembles the red spider lily. Just as the flower and leaves never encounter one another, he cannot identify anything he truly wants to do. Erika reflects on the original novel, where Shan is portrayed as cold, calculating, and emotionally detached. Perhaps this inability to connect with happiness is simply part of his nature. After offering his explanation, he appears satisfied that he has answered her question. From that point onward, the ice between them gradually melts, and they begin sharing light conversations on a regular basis. As time passes, Erika almost completely forgets about the dark secret he hides beneath his calm exterior. One day, Erika suddenly notices blood on Shan's finger. He assumes he receives nothing more than a minor paper cut, but she immediately reacts out of instinct. She raises his hand and positions it above the level of his heart, believing that an injured area should be elevated. When he lowers it again, she quickly insists that he keep it raised and calls for Betty to bring the first aid kit as fast as possible. Shan calmly assures her that such measures are unnecessary and shows her the wound. Only then does Erica remember his extraordinary healing abilities. Embarrassment washes over her as she realizes she reacts entirely out of habit. Shan asks whether the sight of blood startles her, and she admits that it does. Nevertheless, she also acknowledges that she feels relieved now that she remembers who he is. Soon afterward, Shan decides that they should end the lesson for the day. Erica senses a subtle shift in the atmosphere and wonders whether she is imagining it. As he prepares to leave, he suddenly returns to the topic she raises earlier regarding what he likes. Before departing, he corrects himself and offers a faint smile. He states that he will see her at their next lesson. In that brief moment, however, his eyes appear as sharp as the concealed claws of a ferocious beast, ready to pounce the instant she lowers her guard. The sight unsettles Erica. She begins wondering what Shan truly thinks of her. In the original novel, he never seems to hate Erica personally, yet her love for the Crown Prince means that her house remains one of the strongest supporters of the imperial family. Perhaps that is why, during the rebellion, when he leads his army into the imperial palace, he gazes coldly upon the executed members of her house and remarks that it is good he does not have to kill them himself. The memory leaves Erica uneasy. She cannot help wondering whether he is still pursuing the imperial throne, despite all the changes that already occur compared to the original story. After all, she certainly has not raised that flag again with her own hands. Garsen is the holy sword imbued with divine power, and the House of Driet remains under its protection. However, being protected by a holy sword is entirely different from possessing divine power personally. At present, the only person capable of wielding divine power skillfully enough to restore her dead rice seeds to life is Shan. Late one night, Erica sits alone, absent-mindedly turning flower petals between her fingers as she debates whether she should ask for his help. Part of her believes she should simply give up. After all, there is nothing to gain from becoming indebted to the future antagonist. Even abandoning rice farming seems preferable if it means preserving her life. Yet the thought leaves her dissatisfied. She knows that becoming involved with the male leads could eventually lead to her death, but she also cannot bring herself to abandon her dream of cultivating rice. Torn between caution and desire, she ultimately decides to take a chance and make the request. She reaches this decision several days earlier, and now, on the day of their lesson, she finally intends to act on it. Thanks to Shan's tutoring, she has even developed an interest in studying and is beginning to make genuine academic progress. During their lesson, Erica asks whether it is true that divine power can restore barren land. Shan confirms that it can, and explains that divine power is capable of reviving even a dying person. Hearing this, Erica reasons that if divine power can make infertile land fertile once more, then perhaps it can also revive dead seeds. Shan acknowledges the possibility, but explains that divine power has limitations. If the land is completely dead or covers too vast an area, even divine power cannot restore life to it. Erica admits that she truly envies him. Shan points out that her family possesses a gift for swordsmanship instead. Erica responds that, as he already knows, swordsmanship is utterly useless when it comes to farming. It frustrates her to think that her dream of becoming the greatest farmer in history might remain nothing more than a dream. To her surprise, Shan tells her that it is too early to surrender. His words catch her off guard. For a moment, she wonders whether he has just acknowledged her dream and attempted to comfort her. Perhaps he is a better person than she originally believes. Without warning, Shan tells her to open her mouth and places a piece of chocolate inside. He asks whether she feels any better now. Erica is delighted by the taste and remarks that it is surprisingly delicious. She never expects purified food to taste so good. By now, she has become so accustomed to Shan casually feeding her snacks that the action hardly surprises her anymore. Shan advises her not to make such a discouraged expression again because it makes her look ugly. Erica is immediately wounded by the comment and cannot help thinking that hearing him call her ugly hurts far more than she expects. Noticing her reaction, Shan smiles and assures her that next time he will give her strawberry candy instead. Since strawberry is her favorite flavor, he tells her not to remain upset. He also mentions that her strawberries appear to be growing exceptionally well because the chef recently receives a large quantity of them. Apparently, Erica's farming efforts have already become quite noticeable. Shan then observes that although she never receives any formal agricultural education, she performs exceptionally well in botany and demonstrates considerable talent in farming as well. Erica responds by saying that everyone possesses their own talents and adds that he is quite handsome himself. The compliment causes Sean to visibly flinch. His sudden silence leaves Erica puzzled, and she wonders whether her words actually embarrass him. Deciding that the timing could not be better, she finally asks for a favor. Sean immediately asks what she wants. Erica carefully presents the rice seeds and requests that he revive them. She explains that these are the crops she desperately wants to cultivate and that the variety becomes extinct long ago, making the seeds incredibly difficult to obtain. After examining them, Shan explains that reviving them should theoretically be impossible. Divine power is limited to restoration and cannot truly reverse death. However, these seeds appear to have been sealed immediately after drying, meaning traces of life energy still linger within their husks. Because the seeds are extremely small, reviving them may be possible after all. Even so, restoring something considered dead still means challenging the natural order, and doing so requires an appropriate price. Therefore, he regrets that he cannot simply grant her request. Instead, he proposes making a deal. Curious? Erica asks what kind of deal he has in mind. Sean reminds her that capturing and taming a magical beast is considered impossible for anyone in the world, yet she somehow succeeds. Erica privately attributes her success to the memories of her previous life, but merely states that she manages through luck and determination. Sean reveals that there is a particular magical beast he has been searching for, and proposes an exchange. If Erica finds the creature for him, he will agree to revive the rice seeds. He then asks whether she is willing to make such a deal. Later that night, Erica recalls their conversation and remembers asking what sort of magical beast he seeks. Sean describes it as a black magical beast possessing a human-like form. Determined to secure her beloved rice seeds, Erica immediately begins searching. Since even Sean fails to locate the creature, despite all his resources and abilities, she knows the task will not be easy. Nevertheless, she believes that if she continues exploring the mountains night after night, she will eventually uncover a clue. For now, she tells herself that her precious rice seeds must wait a little longer. No matter how difficult the challenge becomes, she intends to find the black magical beast and restore the seeds to life. Eventually, her search leads her deep into the forest. While wandering through the wilderness, she initially believes she has stumbled across some promising clues, but she soon realizes she has no idea where to proceed next. With only Shan's vague description to guide her, determining a starting point proves nearly impossible. As she struggles to decide her next move, a strange sound suddenly reaches her ears. Instantly alert, she turns toward the source of the noise. Her eyes widen in astonishment at the sight before her. For a moment, she can hardly believe what she is seeing. Staring at the object in front of her, she wonders if it could truly be what she thinks it is. The realization strikes her almost immediately. There, growing in the wild forest, stands what appears to be a wild ginseng plant. Yet the reality is starkly different. He maintains his distance as he observes his father, who is expressing his pride to the crown prince, proclaiming that merely looking at him makes him full of joy. Raikon is shocked when he finds the necklace that is only meant for the crown prince on his brother's neck. He is unable to believe it. However, he is still determined to claim his rightful place no matter what. But before that, he is going to teach him a lesson. He lunges to attack his brother. However, he ends up being the one injured. He scowls at his brother, who smirks and remarks that he has become a mere pathetic bunny with no magic power. His parents also ask in surprise, is he really their son, and remarks how shameless of him to come back. He is aware he has become weak because he has not eaten human beings for a long time, and this magic beast's controller is binding his power. He also knows in the world of magic beasts, where the strong prey on the weak, there's no place for someone like him. He thinks about where he should go now. He halts when he feels his lord's energy. He is sure the god of magic beasts will direct him to a new path and decides to follow him. According to her memories of her previous life, the noble count's daughter was not a happy ending story. The female lead and the male leads all lose their lives in the end. And the main culprit behind the tragedy is this man right before her eyes. His name is Dion Behemoth, also known as the King of Magic Beasts. She does not remember the details because she only skimmed through the last chapters of the book. But at least she remembers that he only appears in the second half of the story, and that he begins to have feelings for Pandora after being slightly injured by the holy sword in her hands. However, 5 years after that, despite being the king of beasts, Dion comes to completely lose himself in dark magic, and eventually, the brutal massacre he commits leads to the fall of the world, Pandora's death, and the tragic end of the story. The scene of him holding Pandora's heart in his hand with a smile on his face was particularly memorable to many of the book's readers. Erica's smile is frozen on her face when she realizes he is the most dangerous character in the novel. She tells herself to try to look like the least harmful person in the world. She greets him and assures him she is a farmer and herbalist just passing by. She shows him her wild ginseng and explains she entered the words to catch this but got lost while chasing it, also apologizing for the interruption. She then points out that the little buddy in his arm is also her companion, so if he does not mind, she would like to get him back. When he remains unresponsive, she thinks to herself, this is exactly why she has tried to avoid the male leads. So why do they have to pop up one by one and get in her way? She strides over to him and tells him he's like family to her and explains how precious Raycon is to her. Dion points out, this is a magic beast, he might attack you. Does she still want to keep him close? She lets him know he has already attacked her once, so she should be fine. How so? He inquires. She confesses because she's stronger. She smiles and says if he acts up, she can just whack him with her knuckles. When Dion remains motionless, she admits that she believes they can become like family, because a magic beast can also feel sadness and happiness, just like humans do. Raycon looks at his lord, communicating with his eyes, asking if it would be all right if he stays with this human. He appears to ponder for a moment, but then he throws him over to Erica. Erica looks at Raycon's face, thinking he must have been happy in the arms of his king, huh? She announces to the Lord of the Beasts that she will take her leave then. Now that she thinks about it, the temperature in this place is much lower than the rest of the woods. She wonders if the dark magic that made Dion lose his mind in the novel is already acting on him, but is smart enough to know it is the lead's business, not hers. She desperately wants to leave quickly, but her conscience won't allow it. She mutters a curse under her breath and returns to him, asking, isn't he cold? She takes off her scarf, instructing him to put this around his neck. She cannot help but consider what if he goes insane sooner than the original plot while staying in this cold place. He seems dumbfounded, and she remarks in her mind, what a fitting energy for the final boss of this story. Seeing how he's been pretty gentle so far, she does not think he intends to kill her, at least for now. She then hesitantly asks him, is he hungry by any chance? She informs him that if she needs anything else, he should please let her. However, she hesitates under his gaze, then adds, no. She takes 2 steps backward, putting a safe distance between them. She also adds, if he would like to become a farmer, he can let her know that too. She bids him goodbye and is ready to leave but stops as he mumbles death under his breath. He admits he wishes death, but he cannot just die. He tried stabbing and ripping himself, but he only shed blood. He cannot end his life. She seems surprised and clarifies, so he's asking her to end his life? He says it is correct. She realizes he means what he just said. He's desperate enough to ask such a thing to a human he just came across. As the villain who is destined to kill her and everyone else, she notices Dion looks like the unhappiest and most helpless of all the male leads he has met so far. He is supposed to love Pandora, get rid of any threats to her safety, and become a menace to her. So why did he ask that? He gazes at her. Is she crying? She flinches in surprise, noticing her eyes have welled up. Hastily, she tries to wipe away her tears and sniffles. She just feels so sorry for him. He closes his eyes and sighs, instructing her to leave. As he releases his magic, which envelops her, her face contorts with fear. However, much to her surprise, she is back at the entrance to the Eggplant Mountains. She admits to herself she was so scared when the dark energy suddenly surrounded her, but now she realizes it was just teleport magic, and she's so relieved. It was then that she realized that due to the shocking encounter with Dion, she had completely forgotten why she entered the woods in the first place. She's glad to escape safely from the King of Magic Beasts, but wonders what she should do now. Her original plan completely fell apart. She was going to lead a quiet life as a partner in this world, so why does she keep getting involved with the male leads? If she had known that the black magic beast Shen is looking for was actually Dion, the King of Magic Beasts, she groans in frustration. If only she had known it beforehand. However, she asks herself, if she had known, what then? He would have easily seen through her, and she would have gotten herself into another trouble. Raycon thinks to himself, he somehow came back to this noisy place. Now that the god of Magic Beast allowed him to stay with this human, he realizes he should take care of this silly girl for a while. She is still mumbling to herself now, stating all she wanted was to become a successful farmer. However, she then convinces herself to calm down. She needs to get a hold of herself. She remembers the Shan in the novel Loathed Magic Beasts. She realizes if he's looking for Dion, the King of Magic Beasts, there can only be one reason. He is trying to borrow the Magic Beast's power and make the revolt successful. The origin of magic is the Red Dragon, the head of all ancient dragons, and the descendants of the Red Dragon have ruled this empire for generations. They are the Draco Imperial family. Most of its members have abilities that surpass normal human skills, Thanks to their supernatural powers, they have been able to maintain their iron fist over the empire for the past 1,000 years. Therefore, the private army under House Rapice alone could not stand a chance against the imperial military forces. In the novel, Shan failed to earn the Magic Beasts Corporation, but he somehow caused division within the imperial family, and eventually his rebellion succeeded. After that, however, Dion killed Pandora. Her death led Shan to join forces with Loxolin and fight together against Dion to exterminate the entire Magic Beast race. This was the ending of the Noble Count's daughter. She thinks now that the story has diverged from the original plot, she's not sure if Shan is still pursuing the same goal as in the novel. Still, the Dion she met was enclosing himself with such strong, dark energy that it was hard for her to even stand before him. She admits she would not have worried about Shan before, but now that she is acquainted with him, she is afraid Dion might kill him. She thinks maybe she got closer to him than she thought, in such a short period of time. She wonders if there is a way to make him revive her rice seeds while holding back Dion's whereabouts from him. Shan asks again to be sure that he understands this. Is she saying that he went out to look for the black magic beast and unexpectedly came across that wild ginseng and ran all over the mountain to make friends with it all night long? He exclaims, exactly. It's a moving wild ginseng, isn't it amazing? He looks perplexed as he admits he never thought she would put a wild ginseng before their deal. She smiles nervously as she states she has not forgotten the deal. It is just that she could not pass up the opportunity to grab such a rare and precious wild ginseng. She informs him she would like to know more about wild ginseng and wants to know if he happens to have information about it. He sighs and admits actually this is also his first time seeing a moving wild ginseng. He has not read any records about it either. Her eyes light up as she thinks if she's the first one to discover this species. He teases her that maybe she could try to become its friend first, and then politely ask if it would be good for their health. It takes a moment for her to understand his joke. When she does, she tells him his beauty may be out of this world, but he is also so inhuman. He thanks her for the compliment. She muses. At first, she was pretty nervous about meeting Shan, the veiled antagonist of the story. But the more she gets to him, the better she feels about him. He chastises her, enough chit-chat, and orders her to solve the problem here. She replies, "Yes, sir," and begins the task. After a while, once she finishes, she looks up and is surprised to find that he has been watching her the entire time. He states this question just crossed his mind, but what made her so obsessed about plants all of a sudden? As far as he knows, she did not care about plants at all before. He points out she became passionate about farming overnight and has made the image of the noble lady of House Triette, who cares so much about a bunch of dead seeds, he remarks. She is acting so out of character. She replies that it's because, but trails off of thinking what should she say. She has no convincing reason to give him. She believes at a time like this, brazening it out is the best tactic. She beams at him, asking if there is any reason why she should not. One can grow to like something overnight, right? That can happen to anyone. He smirks, grows to like, huh? And adds, right, that can probably happen to her. She exclaims he understands her. Cannot he feel it? Her destiny to be a farmer. She springs from her seat, declaring she will become a farmer because farming is the best, while he tells her to sit down, though she quickly obeys. He pokes her in the cheek, causing her to wonder what he's doing. When he pinches her cheek, she questions, "What is this for?" He replies, "This is punishment for just running in the woods instead of looking for the black magic beast." She protests, but she found a wild ginseng. He counters a wild ginseng or a new friend. She wants to know if it would be possible to make friends with it. He teases her that it might be possible if she has the same level of intelligence as a plant, and he supposes it's probably possible for her. She becomes furious at the reply. He laughs and instructs her not to get too worked up. He then abruptly announces they won't have class next week as he has another appointment, and he has already informed the Duke of this. He declares he brought her tons of assignments, so they won't have any problems keeping up with progress as scheduled. Her mouth drops open, and she thinks that is nothing but problems for her. He bids her farewell and leaves. Shan seems uneasy, constantly brooding over whether she will be killed or spared. He remembers when his nanny bore the brunt of his father's wrath. He stood there in horror before rushing to his father, begging for his nanny to be spared, promising to do anything. But his father ruthlessly killed her before his eyes anyway. He told him there are many people out there who would try to use their divine power, and that if he allowed them to take advantage of him, they would use him until he dies. His father seized his shoulders with bloodied fingers and told him that unless he kills, he would be killed, and told him to always remember this. His father, Dante Reapice, head of House Reapice, welcomes him back. He lets his father know he's ready so they can start now. His father suddenly leans in closer and whispers in his ear, "Will the gem of the Driette family be spared or killed?" He smirks and replies, "Of course she will be killed." Dante is pleased with his son's answer and asks him if he's ready. Saiken's hands are bound, and there are bloodstains on his collar. Suddenly, an image of Erika flashes in his mind. He smiles and wonders why her face appears to him at this moment. Erika thinks, although she has been pretty busy taking the classes and getting acquainted with the wild ginseng, her farming is going quite smoothly. Thanks to the mage's hard work, the magic tower is growing in size. She reveals Roll has also been watering his plants more diligently than she expected. However, when she arrives at the field, she finds all her tomato plants withered. Her eyes well up as she says her tomatoes. Her entire face is twisted with worry as she knocks on Royal's window, asking if he watered the tomatoes today. When there's no response, she begins pounding on it, yelling to know if he watered them or not. Reminding him all she asked was to water the field right in front of his room. She remarks his peaceful day inside was a hellish nightmare in the desert for the tomatoes. He flings open the window and tells her she's too nosy and to keep her voice down. With the use of his magic, he ends up pouring down the rain on the field. Her eyes flicker with hope as she asks if he did not water them on purpose, just to have an excuse to talk to her, right? He questions what nonsense she is saying. He tells her if she has nothing more to say he's leaving, and turns to leave, but she grabs his sleeve, preventing his escape. She blurts out she has something to say. She notices he still seems to be cranky with her, but she now knows that this is his way of trying to be nice to her. He asks her, "What is it?" She smiles at him and tells him he can do it, what he questions, but she just tells him to hang in there. She knows he has been cooped up in his room lately, trying to invent a new magic device. She knows he must be very busy with the test preparation alone, and yet he is crapping out research at the same time, so she thinks he's really amazing. She lets him know. Her point is that he can feel free to tell her if he needs her help. He looks at her quietly before calling her name. She nods in encouragement, her eyes shining, but he only tells her he does not need her help. He only hopes she doesn't bother him. She pouts at him in response. She turns, saying, "Of course he does." There is a slight smile on his face. He then asks her how her class is. She replies, "It is fine," and lets him know she thinks her teacher is really smart. He frowns, saying, "Of course he is. He is Shan Ripeace." Erika wonders what's with that dark look on his face all of a sudden. She asks him if something happened between him and his teacher. In response, he pats her on the head and tells her to remember that he should not easily trust just anyone. Later, Erika thinks about how the moment she mentioned Cheyenne, Roel's eyes became fierce. She wonders why, because she cannot think of any reason for him to react like that. Suddenly, she remembers he does. Roel and Shan are rivals in love who will compete for Pandora's heart in the future. She guesses that is probably why they are already at odds with each other. She cannot believe Roel's keeping an eye on his future rival. She looks down at these seeds anyways. She needs to hurry and find a solution for these rice seeds. She thinks since she cannot tell Sean where to find Dion, she should come up with another method. She sighed deeply. Betty, who is bringing her tea, comments that is a deep sigh and asks if she has any worries. Erika claims she is the person she needs right now and tells her to listen up. The first thing she tells her is her friend's story, we all know that, Lowell. However, Betty points out she has no friends. She protests that she does have friends. Although, she thinks to herself, they are a beast bunny and a talking sword. Betty says, all right then, let's just say that is the case, and tells her to keep going. Mad, she asks her, cannot she at least pretend to believe her? She then clears her throat and lets her know her friend has something she desperately wishes to have, but there's only one person in the world who can grant that wish. However, that person demands she should grant their wish first if she wants hers to come true. She further adds, her friend wishes she could satisfy their demand, but unfortunately, she cannot. Betty wants to know if that person has other wishes, but Erika lets her know they lack for nothing. Then Betty questions what is the relationship between them, are they friends? She thinks about the relationship between her and Shan. She replies they are business acquaintances maybe? Betty claps suddenly and exclaims it is simple, earning a flinch from a perplexed-looking Erika. She suggests if they're not friends yet, they can become friends, and her friend can try to be friendly with them to the point where they cannot refuse her requests. She imagines her and Shan becoming friends. At first she thought it was complete nonsense, but then she realized Betty has a point. If they really become close, who knows? Maybe he would be willing to give her the shirt off his back. She smiles when she considers that is it, and decides, from this moment on the building a friendship with Shan project begins. Her first step is to show friendliness with a soft smile. She believes no one spits on a smiling face. He calls out to her. She responds yes with a smile. He questions what's with that evil smile. She frowns and grumbles. She was just trying to be friendly. He questions what did she say. He did not hear her properly, but she just murmurs never mind. She wonders if her first attempt failed. Maybe she was wrong to think that she could easily be friends with the secretive antagonist of the novel. She glances at him and then calls out for him. Once she has captured his attention, she asks if she rather looks different today. Her plan B is to look appealing with her fine muscles. For a moment, he just keeps staring at her. She thinks, yes, look at her biceps. Admire these ripped muscles she got from working on the fields. However, he says her face seems to be telling him that she has got an urgent call from nature, and she may go if she needs to use the restroom. Ashamed, she averts her gaze and blurts, that is not what she meant. In her mind, she begs him to notice her flexing already. When she says please, he seems taken aback and says poop. He literally looks thoughtful and states it might take quite a while, so it is better they take a 15-minute break. She insists she is telling him it is not that, but then thinks better of him and tells him to just continue with their class. He calls out for her, placing some chocolates on the table. He questions, would she like some chocolates? Since he needs to mark her paper, he suggests, why don't they continue after a short break? As she savors the chocolate, she reflects that she did her best to start the project off on the right foot, but she just doesn't know how to get close to him. She thinks her smile did not work, nor did her muscles appeal to him at all. However, she admits in the midst of all this dilemma, these chocolates taste amazing. She stares down at more chocolates and takes another one. This time, it is a 5-story chocolate tower. He looks at her and bursts into laughter. Once he is able to speak, he questions, are those good? Erica's cheeks redden. When she realizes that look feels a bit different than his usual smile, she suddenly leans in closer, causing him to be startled. He says if she's done eating, shall they get back to studying? But she replies, no, not that. She declares she saw dimples on his face when he laughed just now. She thinks he always has the typical antagonist smile on his face. She requests him to smile at her again. He replies he always keeps a smile on his face. However, she doesn't want this one. She wants the real, genuine smile he was wearing a second ago. His hand trembles when she remarks he has no idea how beautiful his dimples were and admits she would like to poke them with her fingers. Poke them? He questions. She pokes her own cheeks and says yes, like this, but he just laughs and says she would poke him. She is surprised by his reaction. He changes the topic and tells her he finished grading, and so would she like to check her score. He points out she got a 20 out of 100. She averts her gaze and grumbles. He doesn't have to say it out aloud. She can see it. He points out she seems to be unable to focus on her studies lately. Is he correct? She replies, she guesses so. Sean declares it seems to him that they might need to switch things up a little bit, so he is thinking of having an outdoor class next week. This gets her attention. She looks up, repeating an outdoor class. He wants to know if he does not like the idea, but she exclaims she does. She loves it. Erica deludes herself into thinking he just suggested going on a picnic together, right? Today is the day of the outdoor class with Shan. Erica shows Betty the beautiful dress she's wearing and asks how she looks. Betty exclaims she looks so beautiful and votes yes for the dress. However, he votes no. She asks him why he does not think this is pretty enough. Apparently that is the problem. It's too pretty. He shows her a dress and suggests she should change into this one. This is the lesser of two evils. She tells him he seems to be misunderstanding something. She's not going to a funeral. Betty points an accusatory finger at the dress and tells him she's right. This is too drab for an outdoor class. She further adds, what would people think of House Dryater if her ladyship wore something like this outdoors? They start bickering. Erica tunes them out and sees her reflection in the mirror. She smiles at herself, hopeful she will be able to get close to him this time. In the garden, she sits there absent-minded while he continues to talk about the early ancestors of the Draco Imperial family, who are said to have been blood relatives of the Red Dragon. And that is why the red color of their hair and eyes became the symbol of the Imperial family. He further adds this tomb was also modeled after the Red Dragon. She curses the subject. This is no different from a boring school trip in her previous life. She ponders. She knew it, she got her hopes up for nothing. How pathetic. She lets herself think maybe building a friendship between them was impossible in the first place, reminding herself he is a cryptic antagonist after all, and it would be weirder if they became friends. She looks exhausted and feels mentally overloaded. She is also starting to feel drowsy. She could not get enough sleep because she was fussing around and dolling up since early in the morning. She tries to keep her eyes open because she cannot fall asleep. Someone is calling out to her, she finds it noisy, and that noise also makes her crave mandu. She finally blinks open her eyes, only to find Sean kneeling in front of her. He teases, did she have a good nap? Erica claims it was not napping. He remarks how shameless she is. He pokes her in the forehead, saying she had a restful sleep during his lecture. Was she so tired? She mumbles an apology, explaining she woke up earlier than usual this morning, so she could not get enough sleep. He inquires why was that. She admits she was so excited about this outdoor class that she got up very early to get dolled up. He wants to know, for goodness sake, why would an outdoor class get her so excited? Suddenly the distance between them seems less, as she admits, because it was the first time they were hanging outside. His eyes widen and he mumbles, "Is that a reason?" He looks away, commenting on her excitement, but then abruptly stops as his gaze lands on the wound on her heel. She guesses the new show must have scraped the skin off her heels. She assures him not to worry, claiming she is a driette, so it will heal in a day, but he reminds her if he treats it, it won't even take a day. She knows, but, she points out, did not he say the other day that using his power requires a price? Knowing that in exchange for using this ability, something bad will happen to him, how can she let him use that? She states she only asked him to use his ability on the seeds because farming rice is her dream, a dream she would give her life up for. And that is why she asked him the favor, because he's the only one who can revive the seeds. Once again, she gives him her word that if he revives the rice for her, she will return the favor by any means necessary. He wants to know how she's going to return his favor. He already made it clear that he wants to find the black magic beast in exchange. She says anything except for that. Suddenly his eyes are hard as he questions what she thinks she can do for him when she cannot even do that one favor. She can't help but think, is there no hope for her then? She blurts out she will protect him when he is in danger. He seems genuinely taken aback. So she claims she can really protect him and tells him to look at her muscles. She tells him she's more useful than he might think. She has tremendous strength, powerful connections, a lot of money, and great farming skills. She cups her face with both of her hands and says, not only that, she's pretty too, isn't she? She believes she has successfully appealed to him this time. However, he replies he doesn't know about that. She seems very offended. She says, excuse me, isn't she pretty? Like unbelievably beautiful, tremendously fabulous, unquestionably gorgeous. He puts a halt to her speech and inspects her wound. He heals it for her, and in case she gets hurt in the future, he wants her to let him know right away. She shouldn't hide it from him. When she tries to object, he tells her to answer her, and she ends up saying yes. He also instructs her not to wear uncomfortable shoes like this again. Once again, when she tries to object, he asks for her answer, and she ends up giving her word again. This earns her a genuine smile from his face, and he suggests, how about they wrap up today's class here and go for some mandu dinner? She starts drooling at that. She wants to know how he knew she loves mandu. He says it is written on her forehead. She realizes there's something on her forehead. She also believes since he is the one who suggested going to eat something together, that's definitely a positive sign that they can be friends. She looks at the food and finds everything really delicious. Opening her mouth wide as she takes a bite, she remembers that the maid told her that she should sit up straight and eat elegantly. She takes a glance at Shan. She thinks it is right, and she should keep an elegant demeanor when she eats, and she should not eat too much either. He steps up and tells her that he needs to go to the washroom. She thinks it is great and tells him that he can take her mind. She eats the food all at once. She finds it so good and glances at his. She does herself. No, she's on noble lady. She cannot steal someone else. Mandu. She asks the waiter if she could get another plate of meat. Mandu and kimchi. Mandu? He looks at her with nervousness as he tells her of course. He gives her a drink as she wonders what is this. He tells her this is tomato juice, and it is on the house for her and her company. She nervously thanks him and drinks it. As Shang comes back, he calls out to her. She gasps as he questions if she ate all of these while he was gone. She tells him that she only had one blade. Then he asks her, how does she explain the pile of empty plates he sees before his eyes? She tells him then maybe it was not one plate. He looks at the juice and asks her, what is this juice? She tells him that they said it is on the house. She did not order more food, she swears. He questions about it and smells the juice. He asks her if she drank up hers. She tells him yes she did, and mentions that it was very delicious. So she asked for some more, and they brought a whole barrel. So she just kind of gulped it all down. She wonders if there is a problem with the juice. A man steps towards her and slams on her table. He questions a rich lady and a loser. She steps up asking who is he. She wonders if these people have been eyeing since they came here. She clenches her fist, thinking whatever they are, no problem. They are not trained soldiers, so she can handle them. She steps in front of him. Shan asks her what is she doing. She tells him that she told him she will protect him. She tells the man that she will not let them touch even one hair on her teacher's head. The man is hesitant as he asks her if she is sure that she drank the juice that he gave her, questioning if she does not feel dizzy or sleepy. She is totally fine as she tells him not at all and questions why. He questions how that could be the case as he poured an anesthetic into the juice, strong enough to put a bear to sleep. An ordinary person would have coughed up blood and died already after drinking just one glass. Sean stares at her before he covers her eyes and uses his magic. She tells him that she cannot see anything. He turns her towards him and calls out to her. He questions if she would please protect him. He tells her that they need to escape, but he does not think that they will stop chasing them until they lose track of her. She questions her as he presses his hands on her face. He tells her because the person that they are targeting is her. She questions why would they, as she turns to look at one of them coming to attack her. He uses his magic again and pushes him away. He questions why would not they. He tells her that she has tremendous strength, powerful connections, a lot of money, and a great farming skills. He tells her that he does not think her farming skills are what they are after. She questions then, what was he going to say? He brings her outside and tells her that she has an unquenchable, voracious appetite. She seems annoyed, thinking what does that have to do with this situation? The maid appears questioning. For goodness sake, what in the world? She questions if Betty is here to take her home. Betty calls out to her and asks her if that is blood on her clothes. She looks at it and realizes that some blood splattered on her when Shan was fighting. She tells Betty that she should not worry as it is no big deal. Betty takes her hand, asking her to come over here. She covers her as she stands in front of her, facing Shan, asking to protect the gem of the Dryettes, as all the knights target Shan. Shan mentions that it's all his fault. Erica's father responds that he knows that. Erica tells her father that he does not know anything. She tells him that all Shan did was protect her. Her father tells her that the tomato juice she drank was poisoned, yet she drank a whole barrel of it. He seems angry at her, he tells her. If she were not a Dryette, she would have been dead already. She does her, but she is fine. Is not she asking him to see that she's not hurt at all? He asks her still, was not she put in a situation where blood was splattered on her clothes? He mentions that he shall definitely hold Riapis accountable for what happened today. He questions an outdoor class. He has never agreed to such a thing in the first place. Why is this? This is serious, and that he is angrier than she thought. She knows that, if anything, Shan protected her, and he planned an outdoor class to help her focus on her studies. Look at him, and clenches her fist. She whispers to him that he should trust her, and she can handle this. He seems confused by that. She yells to her father, causing him to flinch. She tells him because her teacher took her out for an outdoor class today, something terrific happened. She tells him that she has become the master of the Holy Sword. He questions. So what she's saying is that in order to save her from the poison, the Holy Sword awakened. She nods. He tells her what utter nonsense is she saying. She tells him that Shiatsekapel is correct. And perhaps, because what caused it to awaken was Tomato Chew's its form changed. Shows him the sword as he tells her there is no way this is the Holy Sword. She tells him she could not believe that the Holy Sword became a hoe either. But it is true, and she heard the transformation Holy Sword's enraged voice. The sword questioned, how dare he insult tomatoes, one of the great produce of the fields? She shall make all of them regret it. Erica tells her father that their Holy Sword was actually a lover of agriculture all along. The sword asks her when did she say that? Erica mentions that is why it could not just forgive those who tainted tomato juice with poison. The Holy Sword did not say that as it looks at Erica. She tells him therefore it decided to shed its old form and be reborn, because it loves the fruits of the earth, because it wants to protect them. Hence the newly born Holy Sword is now a holy hoe. The sword's strong love for crops and its tenacity and will to protect them made it turn into a holy hoe. The sword thinks that even fools would not believe such gibberish. Her father is shocked as he questions if the Holy Sword loved farming that much. The sword cannot believe that he believed it. He mentions that now he gets it. There was a reason for her sudden interest in farming. He mentions now that he knows the truth. She is right. It does not look like an ordinary hoe, she asks him. Right, he tells her that he is so proud of her. He cannot believe that she has become the master of the Holy Sword. Before correcting it to Holy Ho, she pondered. Thank goodness he's a simple man. Her father calls out to Shan, telling him that regardless of how it happened, House Dryette has seen a new master of the Holy Sword for the first time in 1,000 years thanks to him. Her father decides to let him pass this time, but asks him to please ensure her safety from now on. He tells him that he shall not disappoint him again. Erica is aware that he was scolded because of her. Her father calls out to Erica and tells her that he thinks the time has come for them to fully start her training as the heir of House Dryette. He tells her that now that she is the master of the Holy Sword, she should learn swordsmanship. Therefore, he thinks they should suspend her regular classes for a while, and he hopes that she understands. Shan mentions that he is right, her training schedule should take priority. She is dumbfounded, as she wonders what about her opinion. He tells her that he shall send a messenger to reschedule her classes. She realizes that she got herself into a big mess. Who would have thought that she would be put through swordsmanship training? As it is the nighttime. She and Shan are walking together. She calls out to him and apologizes to him. He asks her about what she tells him that he was rebuked, even after he protected her. He tells her that it was his fault because it happened while he was away. She tells him that everything was okay though. She mentions it is an undeniable fact that he saved her and the blood got on her clothes while he was trying to protect her. He does not say anything as she apologizes to him. He stares at her before he takes off his jacket and covers her with it. She questions him as he mentions it is cold, so she should wear this. He tells her she cannot see it now. She questions what she realizes he is talking about the bloodstain. She tells him that he did not have to, as she will change when she returns to her room, so it does not matter. He calls out to her as she flinches. He clenches before he questions. Why are there so many things that do not matter to her? She wonders if he's angry, but she has no idea. Why would he be angry? He suddenly grabs her shoulder and holds her tighter. He tells her that he did not mean to get the blood on her dress. She becomes shocked before they're interrupted by someone. He is informed that they are here to take him home. She tells him that she has heard that the training for the heir of House Driet is quite rigorous. She asks him to please take care and tells him that she will give her all. He tells her then he will see her in 2 weeks. He steps away. Before he halts for a second, he turns around and tells her there is one more thing. He mentions that she looked pretty today. She blushes as he steps away. She wonders if he just called her pretty. The morning begins as her father mentions that he understands how surprised all of them are that he abruptly called a meeting. He mentions that he will cut to the chase. He tells everyone that Erica has become the master of Garcian, the holy sword. They do not understand and mentions, but she is too delicate and weak, questioning if that is true. Is not it too dangerous? He mentions that there is no doubt that the Empire family won't leave her alone now, and that he remembers what happened to the former master of the holy sword. Her mother mentions they will never let that happen to Erica. They will protect her by all means. Her father knows that Felix is right. The Imperial family will undoubtedly be after Erica. Historically, the Draco Imperial family had always been fair and just, until an unprecedented tyrant appeared, some 1,000 years ago. After that, the Imperial family changed. The Emperor beheaded every single person who he saw as a threat to his power. And among the victims was also the former master of the Holy World, who awakened Garcian 1,000 years ago. The Emperor got rid of them because he felt threatened by the sword's power, which is why they had been trying to keep Erica away from anything related to the Imperial family. But she was chosen by the Holy Sword after all. Her mother mentions that Erica will have to undergo the most intensive Dryad training program if she is to protect herself. Her father tells everyone to listen. As of now, they commence House Driet's real combat training, place at the farming. She thinks that she cannot believe she has to waste her time on swordsmanship training. Well, she should become Sean's close friend quickly to revive her rice seeds. Last night was the perfect timing. She still remembers that she was told by him that she looked pretty today. She knows she should have struck while the iron was hot. Anyway, she thinks, when will they let her know the training schedule? She needs to know what kind of training it is to gear herself up. Right then, something happens, causing her to be shocked. She wonders what is in the world going on before she sees a rose. Someone tells her that she managed to avoid his attack. She asks him who is he? It is a man, as he tells her. He will tell her who he is, mentioning that he is the Red Desert Scorpion, before she asks him to be careful, telling him where he is trampling her crops. He apologizes to her, calling her her lady. She thinks about how he called her her lady, and asks him if he is Felix. He questions, what is she talking about? He tells her that he is the legendary Red Scorpion. She wonders what is he playing at. He tells her that she might have been lucky a moment ago, but she won't be able to dodge this one and attacks her. She is totally shocked as she wonders what the heck is going on. She wonders what the fish is going on, as there are a lot of scorpions falling from the sky. It hurts her as she questions what is going on. She looks at one, questioning if this is a red-banded lobster. She is told that it is a desert scorpion. He tells him it looks delicious and asks him if it is edible. He tells her no, she cannot eat it. If she is hungry, she will run to the kitchen right away and get something for her to eat. He realizes he ended up saying too much. He then yells at her, questioning how dare she bamboozle him with nonsense. He wonders what do he do? She picks one up. She asks him, do not tell her if this is how House Driet trains its heir. She's aware that Felix is not the only one and Plan since around. She can sense the presence of other hiding here and there. She takes out the sword. She calls out to the Desert King Crab. He tells her he said he is the scorpion. She tells him whether he is a scorpion or a lobster, she does not care, causing him to flinch. She mentions that he took up minutes from her precious farming time. She asks him to hold still and they should get it over with real quick. She has to field a hoe. He asks her what before he screams. After some time, she's on her bed. She realizes that she's dead tired. It is because of those undercover guys. It even took a while to return to her room. She wonders, how can they call this tournament training? She thinks she should just nap for 10 minutes and then think about something before she gasps. Someone jumps as mentions that she caught her. She tells Erica to not be scared as she has not done anything yet. Erica calls her Betty as she apologizes and tells Erica she's not Betty, her loyal maid. Mr. Black Cat Erica thinks sure she is knowing the truth. She mentions Black Cat, the jewel in the dark is her full name. Erica takes the sword, questioning if she will please stop and attacks her with it. She mentions this is too abrupt and dodges it. Betty mentions that was fun and asks how about this? She attacks Erica with Black Rose Thorn Shuriken. Erica becomes really angry, mentioning Rose her food. She tells her if she is a rose, then she's a weeder and attacks her. After a boom, Betty is on the ground. Erica thinks maybe she went a bit overboard, as her room is a whole mess. She is aware that if they continue to come at her like this, nothing will be left of the mansion before long, not to mention her field. She notices something is floating. She realizes that her room is going back to its original state. She is aware that the only person that she knows who can cast a spell like this is Roel. She cannot believe that he is with the weirdos in tights. She finds him an evil brother. Right then he steps in and asks Sir who is evil? She tells him it is unbelievable. She points at him to wait, telling him to not come any closer. He seems confused as she mentions that she knows everything. She tells them that he is one of them. Is not he? She's so impressed by his restoration magic. She also tells them that she knows he intends to attack her after she lets her guard down. She tells him she is no fool. He remains quiet. She questions, so what is his nickname? The White Dragon of the Magic Tower? He asks, what is that? He tells her whatever happened to her has nothing to do with him. She questions if that is true and asks him then why is he here? She is sure he cannot help her out either because Dad must have told him not to. He tells her yes, she is right. He did tell him to not do that and actually, he's not even supposed to come here. But he was so worried that she might be crying. He pats her on the head. She asks him if he came to tease her because he thought she would be crying. He turns around and tells her that she seems fine, so he is leaving. She asks him to not go. She tells him that she is really having a tough time. He looks at her and tells her that he is so swamped with work at the Magic Tower that he cannot stay for long. She then asks them to just tell her one thing. She questions where are Mom and Dad, as she has not seen them anywhere. He said he does not know their exact whereabouts, but they said they wanted to spend some time together, just the two of them. She's aware that she's sure they ran off. She thinks that they ran away because they were afraid they would soften up at the sight of me. She knows having shrewd parents is not always good. He tells her that he has got to go now. She goes to him, questioning if he's really leaving. He asks her, what would he stay for when he cannot even tease her? She asked him to stop. She questions if he will come back really soon. He tells her, of course. So don't even think. Ask me for help somewhere else. From Sean, for example. She pouts. She thinks he continues to keep Sean at bay, thinking if it is because they are future love rivals. She asks him what about him. She questions if he is saying this because she got the tomato juice on her clothes the other night. She tells him that everyone around her worries too much about nothing. He calls out to her as she questions, what is the matter? Why is he so serious all of a sudden? He clenches his face before he asks her to be careful. He tells her to never forget that House Driette sides with the Imperial family. She tells him all right. He pats her, mentioning she's a good girl. She finds it strange. She thinks that she simply thought he reacted sharply because he and Sean were love rivals in the novel. She wonders if there is any other reason for his behavior. A week later, Betty steps in her room, finding it really strange. She thinks that Erica should have already sensed her presence and attacked her wielding her hoe. She finds it suspiciously quiet. Right then, she's alarmed and thinks, no way. She does not find Erica on the bed. There is a letter which states that she's leaving because she can no longer stand this annoying training, so they should not make any attempt to find her. As her father checks the letter, she also asks him if he could please look after her farm. He trembles before he yells to go and find her right now. Somewhere else, she steps in a restaurant and asks for 1 chicken soup and 1 sandwich. She sits on a table as her sword calls out to her. The sword asks her, is not she too laid back for a runaway? She asks Garcian to be quiet, questioning if it has not heard the saying of former marches on its stomach. She has traveled all the way to the middle of nowhere just in case. Does not she deserve a short break and some good food? She knows this place feels a bit grim though. She looks around and gulps. She thinks that she should eat fast and leave. She hears someone questioning, does such an amazing seed really exist? She turns to look at whoever is talking about it. Garcian asks her if she's not going to get sidetracked. She asks Garcian to be quiet as she cannot hear anything because of it. The person mentions that he heard the seed has special abilities and it shines too. It not only has a healing power, but it is also strong enough to harm magic beasts. The other person mentions that is a great news. The magic beast attacks are more frequent than ever, and he would feel much safer if he could get his hands on the sea. She wonders if it can heal wounds and has the power to repel magic beasts. She wonders if it could be something like sweet potatoes that are delicious to humans but harmful to magic beast. Her imagination is running wild. A sweet potato that is poisoned to magic, yet medicine to human. She thinks it really is an amazing seed, and she wants it. She really wants the anti-magic beast sweet potato. Gaussian mentions that she has lost her mind. She jolts as Hat Person states what the problem is, that one cannot buy them. He questions if this means that the seed just belonged to the arena. They mention, yes, it is simply a seed for watching. The person questions, then it must have an owner, right? Should not they at least attempt to negotiate? He thinks he should go over to the arena. She wonders if there is an arena running a farm as she wears her hoodie. She follows the guys and takes a peek. Garcian asks her if she is following them to the arena, questioning if she's serious. He tells her that she does not even know what kind of seed it is, and those guys sounded pretty suspicious. She tells him that a seed is a seed, and a good farmer needs to be able to cultivate any seed. Besides, she thinks that if her guess is right, then it must be a sweet potato seed. Garcian thinks that was unexpected. He tells her that they heard the same conversation, so why did sweet potato never cross his mind? She tells him that just goes to show how lacking he is as a farmer. She asks him if he will be quiet already. She is going to get caught because of him. She is then approached by a man as she gasps. The three of them. He looks at her, questioning if she's following them. He points the sword at her, questioning the reason of it. They asked her, what does she want? She thinks it looks like the arena is just around the corner, so she cannot fall back here. The man asks Sarah. She's a member of Macchioli. He notices a sound and asks her, what is this sound? She tells him it sounds like horse hooves galloping very fast toward here. She then becomes alarmed as someone yells her name. It is her father as she calls out to him. He tells her that he has been looking all over for her. The man asked him, who is he? He responds that he is this girl's father. He becomes angry at them, questioning how dare he lay a hand on his daughter and attacks them, telling them to die. The man ran away, stating that they did not do anything yet. He still asks them to be quiet and die? She thinks that she thought she came far enough, so how in the world did he find her? She knows now is not the time for this, and that she should run away while he is not looking. He turns to realize that she is no longer there. She's running away as he yells at her to more go. Somewhere else. She steps towards somewhere. A man blocks her view. He tells her she cannot just walk in, she should show her pass first. She glances at him, questioning past. She shows him something and asks him if this will do. He realizes that he's a diamond. He tells her, of course, and that she can enter. She thinks that was easy peasy. She steps in the arena. A lot of people stand there. They yelled at those people cannot win fighting like that. And that they paid the price of a mansion on them. She wonders if this is really where they form. Garcian tells her that he told her they seem suspicious. He does her. If these people were proud of what they do, why would they be wearing masks? She is aware this is not just an ordinary sports arena. It is a gambling den where people bet money on duels. And then the seed those guys mentioned. Then it is announced that they have waited for a long time and asks to welcome the top seed, which is Bellflower. Erica is confused as she wonders if she is dead. She begins to step towards her. She wonders what is she doing here, and if she is. Pandora Valentine. She fights with the person. People mention that Seed is as impressive as the rumors say. She won't butch at all against such a big man. Maybe it is true that she can knock down magic beasts, Erica, thanks. And then the seed that repels magic beast. Before looking at her, it turns out that the victory goes to the top seed, Bellflower. In the novel, there's a brief mention of how Count Valentine abused Pandora. But still she wonders, how can he send out such a young girl to fight for money? She thinks he's such a wicked man. Garcian tells her they should go home now. As have not, they already found out that it was not a sweet potato seed. She feels sorry for her birthday. Is nothing she can do to help her now? After all, Pandora is the female lead of the novel, and she is only a farmer. She decides to go home. But before that, the man that Pandora was fighting trembles and yells at her that he will kill her. He runs to attack her. He grabs Pandora and begins to choke her. People ask him to kill her too. She wonders if these people are all out of their minds. She knows that Pandora is only a 15-year-old girl, and if nobody helps her, but then it will be a problem. She begins to shake. She asks the Raycon to go there, and that she's counting on her. The raccoon steps in, as people question, what is a magic beast doing here? The person trembles and asks it to not come close. Everyone becomes scared, stating it is a magic piece, and they should all run away. Pandora seems pretty sad before Erica goes to her, asking her if she is all right. Pandora questions, who is she? Erica responds that she is a farmer, she's a legendary farmer, and asks Pandora to speak. She asks Pandora to listen up, telling her that she has to run away from that house. She cannot live like this forever. She should just leave home and just farm, and do not fall in love with someone weird. Erica gives her something and tells her she should eat this and cheer up, and if possible, she should run away right now. People yell at Erica, stating that women took the beast inside and they should catch her. She wishes goodbye to Pandora. Pandora asks her to wait, but she runs away. She realized that there's no place like home, so after saving Pandora, she decided to return home. As she is back home, she asks Father to please don't do that. She asks him to please put down that tomato first. He asks her that she should promise him first that she will never run away from home again and she will take the training seriously. She questions how can he call that training? It was a torture. Besides, she asks him, what the heck were those tight costumes? Only perverts would wear that. She does seem that she wants her training to focus more on improving, more on she's talented at. He asked her what is she talented at? She tells him she will just show him right now. She takes him to her farm. It is the final chapter of the farmer's martial technique, harvesting. She begins to harvest. Her father is shocked. Her mother mentions that she knew she was warming, but she never thought she would learn such an impressive skill. She questions, are not the farmer's martial techniques amazing? Her mother tells her father that they should give her a chance and let her train in her way. Her father states, but they must follow their tradition, and that is to reach full potential through real-life training. Do not allow any exceptions. But to be honest, that was very impressive. She has improved her skills this much all by herself, so he's really proud of her. He tells her that he's sorry he failed to give her the right training for her, and he also apologizes for threatening her using her tomato. She tells him she is really sorry to worrying him when running away. He asked, sir, do not do that again, as they promised that they will discuss things with her in the future. Calling her opinion, they will invest their assets to purchase